great. How is Mincy and them? Yeah.
Unbelievable opportunity to upgrade mom's ring for Mother's Day. We have a Mother's Day special on 1, 2, and even 3-carat certified lab-grown diamonds. You want to trade? No problem. We take trades as well as in-house financing. Make Mother's Day special this year and put a rock on her finger. Selassie's Jewelry and Fine Gifts, located in the Antique District in Denham Springs, or find us on Facebook.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, May 9th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour one of today's show, we'll talk the latest with LSU football in the transfer portal, recap the long softball game that was, and T-Bob Hebert rejoins the show today. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, welcome in. OTB 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jake, T-Bob, Alondra, and Taylor here with you this morning. And I'm going to try to fake it. I feel like Jake Taylor in Major League right now where he just rolls over. If you're going to pull this, at least you could have said you were from the Yankees. And you know what, T-Bob? Glad to have you back. Can't wait to hear about yesterday. Like, I wish it was from having, like, this epic, like, drink fest because it was my birthday yesterday. Yeah. I'm just getting old. Harlow woke up a couple times last night. We had the dog in the bed. It's just like, golly. It's like the good Lord saying, buddy, you're 39 now, and you're going to feel it tomorrow morning.
39, the baby. Yeah, I mean, that old – that can get very rough. Well, look, I do want to start the show by offering up an apology to Jake for not being here on his birthday and leaving him alone on his birthday. It's a certified non-foxhole move. I know we talked about it on campus yesterday. It's a certified bad partner move. I unfortunately I'm up here in Chicago and Mincy invited me to go up there and wake up Mincy and then kind of do the barstool wash, if you will. And, I was like, when am I ever going to be up here again? But I did it. So, but I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel like I left you hanging. I feel like you should take a day off sometime soon just to rest and recoup, whatever you want. Maybe tomorrow, you like whenever you want, you just let me know and you got it.
Hey, to be fair, you're not the best at knowing what day it actually is anyway, even though last week you knew what day my birthday was because you mentioned it on Off Campus. That was a long time ago.
Well, I texted you. I texted you in the morning yesterday. It's just that like.
When was the first reminder?
Wednesday,
was it a tweet? Because I got a tweet pretty early tagging us both. Was it the tweet that reminded you that it was my birthday?
I don't remember that. I don't know. I don't think so.
And then you're probably like,
so.
Oh man.
Definitely. Nobody should check the timestamps of the tweet against the text though.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, we already figured you out.
No, I remembered it because I was like, damn, it's my boy's 39th birthday. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So since you weren't here and we didn't get a chance, although very nice to talk to you yesterday afternoon, what was yesterday like? You went like Mincy, is that, I have no idea what, if it's live or whatever. Is it recorded? Like Wake Up Mincy started your day, but what did you do?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're all on. Wake Up, and no, Alondra, sorry, it's not Echo anymore. Great job. Mincy show, I think, is on Rumble. I'm not entirely sure what Rumble is, but I think it's also on YouTube, but they're mainly trying to push to Rumble. I don't know. But then I don't get the feeling that the other ones are, so I'm not sure. I did Wake Up Mincy. That was a ton of fun. Just chopped it up with Ben for an hour, kind of catching up, going back down memory lane, talking crap about Ole Miss and whatnot. Then I got to go on Mostly Sports with Brandon Walker, Mark Titus, confront them about being soft with Kim Mulkey.
Oh, I would have loved to see that situation. I gotta go back and watch that.
And then I got to do a little bit of the yak and do the gauntlet. And I didn't know what the gauntlet was, and I'm pissed. It's like you do like a bunch of stuff. Like you start with cornhole, then you like kick a soccer ball, you throw a football, you got to make 2 threes, you got to hit a wiffle ball. Like you do all these things, and I crushed everything. On the ends with trivia, I crushed everything except for the cornhole. I probably spent 40 seconds trying to make a single cornhole shot, and my final time was like 2 minutes 40.
Ooh.
I would have been way high up on the leaderboard. Instead, I ended up like middle of the pack. I will forever hate cornhole for the rest of my life now.
Golly. I mean, that seems like one that, I mean, hitting the threes is tough when you're trying to rush. The cornhole.
See, that's what I'm saying. Everything else crushed, super easy. Jake, I'll send you the free kick. I think you're going to be a little impressed. I was kind of impressed. I was like, damn, that's where I was aiming. Like I drove that thing like upper 90 right side. Yeah. And that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was kind of like, okay, dog, let's go.
Look, you pick an EPL team, and now you can do things like that.
Wait, what?
You pick an EPL team, and you can finally do things like that. Ipswich.
Exactly. Shout out Ipswich. Let's go, baby. First time back in the top flight since 22 years. But yeah, so it was a ton of fun though. It was cool. Also, I wasn't too kind of a dual benefit of taking off here yesterday was I got to sleep in until like kind of like 6:30 instead of 4:30.
Yeah. And
that's good because after my experience in Wrigley, I was out till about 1 a.m.
I want to hear about that, but I also want to hear about you defending Kim Mulkey against Brandon Walker.
I was just telling him I was just telling him like, look, she's an alpha and she's a leader. And like the lessons that she espouses would work on any sport, in any organization, in general life. And I was like, look, I can get it. You don't like her. That's fine. I'm not having a likability conversation here. I think it's a classic, like, if she's your guy, you love her. If she's not, you're not going to. But, like, you ain't going to talk about her being objectively bad.
Yeah.
She's not. Like, she's awesome. And she's an incredible leader. And so they ended up, they kind of took the likability angle, but then they didn't actually confront on the leadership or kind of alpha angle.
Yeah.
So they, they had to kind of, I think they had to kind of take that one a little bit.
All right, now I want to hear about the Cubs game because you were a Braves fan for your entire life. You bribed me back in the day, as I told off campus yesterday, with this great Tom Glavine baseball that I actually found not that long ago. And all it takes, God, you're easy. One night in Wrigley Field, you have a jersey on, go Cubs go is the tweet, and you left us. After one game. Now, you're going to leave the Cubs in 2 weeks. I meant to tell Hunt that as well because, I mean, I love you, but that's kind of what you do. So 2 weeks, love affair, you and the Cubs?
Well, I mean, look, I wouldn't even know where to begin to like okay, like I actually want to watch Paul Skeens against my Cubs this Saturday, making his major league debut. I don't even know where to begin in terms of finding an MLB game. Hell, buying a ticket to an MLB game was an adventure.
Wait,
it
I thought
involved
Terrio hooked you up.
17 different apps. What?
I thought Terrio hooked you up.
So he did, and it was super kind, but I get to the park and I show him the ticket, and it was accidentally for the next day's game. And so, but I mean, it was super chill. It was not a big deal. I hopped on, like I said, it did take me being an old man like a couple apps to figure out, but I hopped on the app, bought a ticket, great ticket for like $40 too.
Yeah.
Did you
and
get trolled by the riot? Just got to see an incredible game, dude. I saw a walk-off home run in the rain in Wrigley Field. I got to watch Shota Imanaga pitch, and he was electric.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't been to an MLB baseball game in 20 years, I realized. Over 20 years. Like, I don't think I've been to an MLB game since I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, wow.
And to be back in a park that night, perfect weather, so many beers, drink about 14 old styles probably. It was just magic, dude. It felt scripted. So yeah, I don't know where this goes from here, but I have those like new relationship jitters, right? I had a one night stand where I caught some feelings.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens from here, we'll always have that Tuesday night against the Padres.
Yeah, you will. I mean, I think, did Terrio troll you though by giving you that ticket knowing that it was for the next day?
No. I think that was because he obviously got in touch with like somebody from the Cubs ticket department. And so I think it's just a classic miscommunique, right? I mean, so the Cubs, I blame the Cubs ticket department, not Terry. Terry was super kind and awesome and set everything up quite nicely.
Which player jersey did we go with, or was it just blank?
I was going to go, after I learned about Imanaga, I was going to go Imanaga, but they didn't have a double X. So I just ended up going blank. It's a nice jersey. I really like it, dude. I ended up rocking it all of yesterday as well because I'm local now. I'm like, don't hassle me. I'm Bill Murray in What About Bob?
Well, I saw you take a local shot yesterday. What was that? Like I saw
Bro,
that.
have y'all ever had Malort?
I don't know, but your face tells me I don't want it.
I saw it on Twitter.
It is okay. So objectively, I don't think it tastes good. Okay. But it is the most complex alcohol I've ever drank, in that it lasted, like the feeling lasted for like 5 to 10 minutes, like the taste, and it just kept evolving and getting weirder. And sometimes it tastes like bug spray. Oh, sometimes sawdust.
Love
sometimes
good
I'm like,
bug spray in the morning.
Okay, I like this. But what my favorite part about it is, all these Chicagoans keep talking about it, and they all drink it, but not nary a single one likes it. Like I think like 1 out of 10, or 2 out of maybe 1 out of 5 have told me they legitimately kind of enjoy it, and I think it's deeply funny that you have an entire city of people that have agreed to drink this ironically, that have agreed to you know what, we're just all going to do this, and we're going to make it. It seems more like you want to mess with your friends, you give them a Malort, and just the entire city seems to do it. And I wasn't, because you know me, I love alcohol, right? Really do.
Yeah,
the
14 beers gave it away.
What?
The 14 beers yesterday gave it away, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, I agree. But I wasn't that worried about it until I saw the bottle. And when I saw the bottle, I started getting disconcerted. Like, this just looks bad.
Yeah.
I don't like any part of this. So I'm bringing these back to the studio though. So y'all can try some as well.
Hey, this tastes like ass. I'm bringing some back for you.
Even that's the Chicago way. That's what I'm saying. That is literally the exact mindset that the city operates under, and I don't understand it, but I think it's really funny.
Okay.
And I kind of appreciate how dumb it is.
That actually makes sense. Like, you'll have that thing, and it's like, oh, this smells so bad. Like, oh, these socks smell bad, and you're like, oh, I gotta do it now too. You know, it's like it's that same thing.
Yes, no, exactly. Or it's like, I guess it's like icing writ large when you used to like give your friend a Smirnoff, make him hit a knee and chug it. I don't think anybody does anymore. But no, it's been cool, man. Had some great wings last night. I actually got sleep last night. Kept it chill. Bed by 9:30. Love it. That's why I'm feeling so good this morning. Rainy day.
I didn't think we were going to bring up the wings.
Yeah, I thought we were going to keep the wings.
I didn't think we were going to bring up the wings.
Oh God, I didn't even think about this. So, yeah, that was a bit shameful. I went to a place called Bird's Nest. It's supposed to have the best wings in Chicago, according to the Chicago Tribune. Really cool little neighborhood dive bar, and it did. The wings were great. I ordered 20, the Bird's Nest hot sauce, thinking like 20 wings. I mean, I damn near almost ordered 30, and I've never done this before in my entire life. I left 3 wings on the plate.
That's just.
I ate 17 of 20.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, like even if you ate 12 and left 8 on the plate, like that feels like that would be more acceptable than just leaving 3.
But okay, so that's why imagine my shock when I hit like 14 and I felt like super full. And I'm like, wait a second, this isn't me. What's going on here? I wake up and eat 40 wings.
Yeah.
Like I'm not what 20 wings? I'm not worried. And they were okay. They were pretty big size. They're definitely not small. But no, so I'm at 14 and then I'm feeling like shame and I'm like, what are you doing? Come on. And I'm like, okay, I'll just slow down my pace and I'll just watch these sports. I'm drinking a beer. I'll just like, I'll eat them. So, and I got through like 3 more over like 30 minutes. And then I think I was just like, you know what? I think I'm done. And I've never had that before in my entire life. So speaking of getting old, I guess, it wasn't my birthday yesterday, but I felt older than I have in a while.
Yeah. I mean, the person sitting next to you watching this man have a self-talk with himself for 30 minutes to eat 3 wings and then giving up.
I didn't even think about that because I was sitting next to this father-son combo at the bar the entire time.
What's on the docket today, though? Like I don't even know. So what's today? Today's Thursday. So are you working all day today and tomorrow? Or are you just coming home tomorrow morning?
No, I'm coming home Saturday morning. So I am going to do snaps at noon today.
Oh, gosh. When's the last time you did snaps? I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right, man. And then for Stadium, I'm doing a show Clubhouse at 2:30, and then the rally 5 to 6. And then I think we're going out for drinks in the stadium people after that. So it's wild. Long days.
Should I line something up tomorrow? Should I line something up
very clear about
tomorrow?
this. Shout out to my wife because like I've been in this studio like 12 hours a day, and it is markedly easier than normal life back home. Taking care of family.
Oh, I
taking care of 3 kids.
already gave her the shout out. She texted me happy birthday yesterday, actually before you did, I think. And I already gave her the shout out for that. Holding it down.
Yeah, I just want to be on record that I am, that she is doing the infinitely harder thing this week, and I love her dearly, and an early happy Mother's Day. And she's a beast because I cannot fathom being at home with all those kids alone for the entire week. It sounds just awful. You love your kids, but that sounds awful.
Yeah. Well done, smart man. But let's go back real quick. Rewind. You're going out for drinks with all the people you work with tonight. Should I go ahead and plan for something tomorrow?
No. Come on. Bruh. I was up till Monday night. I was up till 1 a.m. with the Nunez's, and we were here. So don't you ain't gotta worry about that.
Right.
You ain't gotta worry about that.
All right.
Hoot with the Owls at night. What do we do? Soar with the Eagles during the day.
Yeah, that's
okay?
again not the saying, but no, T-Bub's got this. Remember, it was last summer, Jake. He comes into the studio like sweating. His hair was a little bit wet. He's like, guys, I'm sorry. I was at the St. Francisville Inn, and I was in the hot tub, and it was 3 a.m. He's like, and then I get out, and he made it to work that day. I got confidence in it.
That one doesn't. That one was good. That one doesn't even like compare to when he was at the Harris Casino at like 3:30, 4 a.m. in New Orleans and found his way. And every break, he was on the ground in pain.
I'll never do the Harris thing again. I'll never do the Harris thing. That was flying too close to the sun.
That's a long time ago.
That was the most miserable. I mean, even I'm not gonna lie, I was even pushing it Tuesday morning. Like I was feeling pretty intimidated and pretty low when that alarm went off. Like kind of like probably you felt today a bit.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We got a good show. We got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Thank you guys for indulging me in my Chicago adventures. But
well, we're just living through
do some OTB.
In the first segment, we had to live through you because you're having a lot of fun. You're going to Major League Baseball games. You're doing all these different shows. And so we had to live through you a little bit here in segment number 1. When we come back, we'll talk Brian Kelly, defensive tackles, where's LSU sit, and obviously something we covered yesterday, but want to get T-Bob's thoughts on Brian Kelly's quote about paying players. We'll do all that when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to GoTommies.com. GoTommies.com. That's Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. When you go to the website, you will see the difference. You will see what Tommy can do for you. They're going to come in, and they're going to completely change your space. Remember, they can customize whatever your needs are. Certainly, they can throw in any kind of window, really. I mean, you look at the gallery on the website, they've got multiple different windows. If you have an arch window as well, they can come in, they can replace that, they can fix that, they can customize that, they can do it all. And you'll see that at the gallery on their website. Go to GoTommies.com, GEAUX Tommies.com.
That's right, baby. You're going to see the difference clearly. So you need hardy plank or vinyl siding. You need wood or vinyl windows. You need any type of door. Tommy's has you, man. And look, go check out the good reviews. And like I always tell you, just make Tommy's one of your 3 bids, okay? Make them one of your 3 bids and let them prove to you what they are the answer. That's GEAUXTommies.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson talking Saints, Joe Healy talking SEC baseball, and Chris Blair on the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. T-Bob, yesterday we talked about Brian Kelly, and Jock had a great sit-down with him, and he had the quote about LSU not buying players. And, obviously we reacted to it, and I was giving a shout out to Bo Davis and him developing players. He's done it at Texas and Alabama and everywhere he's ever been. And yeah, sure, LSU is going to add anywhere between like 6 and 10 players through the portal probably every year, 10 being on the high side. But I think this year it's right at number 7, and they're going to add through the portal. They're going to use NIL to add players. But Brian Kelly's comments that, well, they caught some real steam on the old Twitterverse whenever it came out, and me and Andy Staples kind of went back and forth yesterday and off campus about this. But when you saw that comment, heard that comment, what did you think about it?
I thought it was a bit of a. I think it's a combination of things. Okay, I think it is partially true, and it's nothing new. Brian Kelly, since he got this job, has talked about the main goal of building the program is going to be recruiting high school players and developing them over time and using the portal to kind of fill it in the corners, but never wanted to be the base. Now, he admitted that, but here early on, we had to do a lot more portal activity than we likely will hope to do in the future. And it just is what it is. So I think when he talks about wanting to develop guys and beyond wanting guys who are just there for the highest number, I think there's some truth to that. While I disagree with Andy on how bad this soundbite sounds, though maybe we're in the minority there because a lot of people seem to be saying that. I think it's also a situation, as Andy kind of wrote about on 3, is that, I'll just use his exact quote. The thin supply of capable defensive tackles combined with soaring demand for capable defensive tackles drove the market price to a level LSU wasn't comfortable paying. I think that is absolutely true. And I can see why. I don't know exactly where this $1.2 million number comes from that has been floating around. But yeah, I wouldn't pay Dominic Williams $1.2 million. There are certain times when something becomes untenable, and given and let's even say like 500,000.
Yeah,
I don't think I would pay Dominic Williams, right? And so there is a number there where it just doesn't make sense for whatever reason. I like Brian Kelly. I do think could have just said that. He didn't, but I think the reason that he didn't is not just. I don't think it's as disingenuous as some are painting it. I think he also does legitimately believe what he's saying, that ideally, yes, they want to build and develop. Now, the thing about that is all of this is happening, or a lot of it, because you didn't sign a single interior defensive lineman in the 2023 class.
Yeah.
So if your goal is to recruit high school and build through there, well, then you do have to bear the responsibility and the culpability for not taking care of that position in the 23 class. And that's why you find yourself in such a dearth of defensive tackles right now.
Yeah, and you relied on multiple people coming back. And so look, LSU, in the history of LSU, you can go back multiple coaches. That has gotten LSU into trouble before in certain position groups. Just assuming because the player wasn't going to be a first-round pick that you think they're going to come back, and you did not expect to lose all 3 of those defensive tackles. You might not have even expected to lose any of them. And at worst, maybe one of those guys. You lose all 3, and then you don't sign somebody, and then you get into this position where you're chasing guys that normally you might not even chase to play at LSU.
Yeah, and it's And that's I still think though, like, don't you have to have at least one representative of every excuse me, of every position group in each class? Like it almost feels like I don't care how strong the roster looks, or no, that's not true. I mean, you definitely take the roster into account, right? But you still, I think, have to have a baseline of at least one guy at each spot. So that was a big miss for them, and now they're paying for those sins a bit. But it's not just Brian Kelly talking about this. You see Hugh Freeze out here, and Hugh Freeze says he'd rather develop a quarterback than just spend $1 million getting a guy. Yep. Saying, now you're going to say, now I'm not saying we'll do that in time, but currently I think the guy's proven. Talking about Peyton Thorne, he is all in on Peyton Thorne, and with Freeze, some are giving him crap, saying like, "Oh, you should have just spent the $1 million." But I think Freeze knows quarterbacks pretty well. If he thinks Thorne is that guy, well, yes, that is his prerogative, and there's got to be something attractive about a bit of consistency. Where, I mean, Freeze took over such a whirlwind, and there was so much change that returning to quarterback for a second year, I think would be attractive. And then you have the Boise coach. Now, maybe this is too far, Jake. I would ask you this. The Boise State coach says incoming freshmen are banned from getting NIL money. What is your reaction when you hear that?
Honestly, I actually wish that was the rule across the board. But since it's not, you can't be the one coach that says that. Because if everybody else is able to go out there and make money their freshman year, and you're the one place they can't because of your rules, it's going to tie both your hands behind your back. Like, I wish it was the rule where, like, hey, look, high school guys, we're not doing that. We're not going to do this. When you come here and you're a freshman and you play through a season, like, NIL can start at that point. Like, I wish that was a rule, so it would give some older guys the ability to maybe even make more because, look, it's like the totem pole, right? Like, they've earned the right. They've been here. Like, they've got seniority. I don't think that will ever happen, but you can't – Coach, you can't be the only one out there that has a rule like that. Even though I respect it, you can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he was saying, right? You come now, he used free handouts, which is going to come with its own, like – people are going to latch onto that. But basically saying, like the older guys deserve more. But yeah, I agree. It's a step too far because like you don't have to feature it. You don't even have to push it. But outright ban them, you're putting the kid in a tough spot. Because like, what if a kid's getting offered like $20K by another school? 10K, $15K. Like that's still hard to say. Or what if like you get to Boise and a business says, hey, we want to pay you. And you're like, what, I'm not allowed to? It's just, that's a little that's a little tough to me.
Also, like what's tough is if you're not buying into this NIL world at all. Like we had a full Clemson conversation yesterday, and I don't know if I was a fan of Clemson how I would feel. There's only 4 teams that didn't take a player out of the transfer portal in the country, and 3 of them are because those players are going to go serve their country with Navy, Air Force, and Army. Right, and so there's not a transfer portal situation with those 3 schools that don't take players in, obviously. Clemson's the only one to join the 3 service academies with teams that did not add a player through the transfer portal. Like, if I'm a Clemson fan and you don't win this year, you don't make the playoff, you don't win the ACC, like, I'm asking tough questions because, Dabo, we appreciate you for everything you've done here. Thank you for your service. But you are neglecting right now this football team and your contract to go out there and win football games.
So this is all to tie it all back in. I think this is a good way of showing that while Brian Kelly said something very soundbitey and headliney that will grab headlines and people will use as launching pads for attacks, he is clearly not doing the same thing that the Boise State coach is or that a Dabo Swinney is doing, right? He is involved in the modern day of college football. LSU does take advantage and use NIL. Again, at the end of the day, and we said this at the beginning of the spring portal window. Remember? We looked at the top needs for all the major schools, and it was defensive tackle across the board.
Yeah.
We said this market was going to get out of control. And sure enough, it did. And at the end of the day, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze to LSU, and that's fine. And now you just got to go. I mean, there's a new name we'll get into maybe next segment or sometime, but that I mean, you just got to do whatever you can, and nobody's going to care. You just got to go out there and win.
When we come back, we'll talk about that name. I also want to talk about, like, what is the sweet spot as far as you know, the amount of players that you add in each portal window. And I'm talking about both windows combined, but each and every year. Have we found that sweet spot? Do we know what it is? What's that number? Because some of the top teams in the country, they're kind of living in the same space. We'll give you those numbers when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to GetGordon.com. GetGordon.com is the website to go to see what Gordon can do for you in the courtroom, past client results. You can also see cases they can handle for you. You can get a free consultation set up right there on the website. You can actually get anything that you have, like any question you have, answered on the website, right? It's going to have a chat box that pulls up. So the website is set up for your success. Also, always on social media at GetGordon, which T-Bob will tell you about here in a second. But don't forget, anywhere in our listening area in Louisiana, we are talking to you. If you've got something you need to get in contact with Gordon, your area code followed by the 8s, 888-8888.
Yeah, and look, one of the things that I love about Gordon McCurtain, the Get Gordon website, is that you can go see past client results are there. You can see all the different types of cases that they handle. But you mentioned the social media handle at Get Gordon. And there's a lot of good stuff there, man. Sit downs with your favorite athletes, member of the G team, shout out, helping keep your favorite athletes in the purple and gold. And then also what to do when you get an accident, you get Gordon.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there.
Scona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball will be with us, talk about LSU and Alabama in baseball, and we'll preview Saints rookie minicamp. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in, OTB. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Talking a little transfer portal here. T-Bob, I've been trying to just do some research, look at the numbers, look at some of the top teams in the country, and try to find what the sweet spot is as far as amount of players that you add. Now, it's going to change year to year, but a lot of these top teams are kind of staying close to the same number year in and year out. Just this year, I'll go through some of these quickly. Texas has added 10, Oregon 12, Notre Dame 9, Tennessee 8, Michigan 3, Penn State and Ohio State 6, LSU 7, Kansas State 8, Georgia 8. Alabama has actually added 11 this year, so that number is up a little bit for them, and you understand probably why with the new coach. Like Colorado, to kind of give you a number on the higher side, they've added 39 players through the transfer portal. Louisville has added 31 players through the transfer portal. Ole Miss has added 20 players through the transfer portal. Syracuse 17, South Carolina 21, UCF 23. So you start to see some of the numbers of the top teams in the country, and Florida State at 17 is by far the highest of teams that we expect to be a contender in their conference. So are we starting to kind of, now Ole Miss as well, but that's just kind of what Lane Kiffin does, but are we starting to kind of figure out?
It is kind of what Mike Norvell does too.
It does. I think Mike Norvell, speaking of Portal King.
He's Portal King B. If Lane's Portal King A, he's right there with him.
He might be A, and Lane might be B. I mean,
you're right about that.
Like going to get deep cuts, like Fist from Western Michigan and Verse from Albany. He has some true deep. Keon Coleman. Hell, Jordan Travis didn't start at Florida State, and a lot of people don't even remember that. He's at Louisville. So he might actually be the Portal King. But, outside of that, and it's a good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. It feels like the sweet spot is somewhere between 6 and 10.
Okay, that's interesting. I would have said, just as we started, I would have estimated 5 to 8. So, yeah, I think the numbers, after you just read them off, maybe a little bit higher. And that makes sense. I mean, you have 80 scholarships. So you're talking about anywhere from 10 to 15% of the roster. So really again, filling in the corners is a phrase that I always go back to. It's how you kind of finalize your roster. I think that's what that still means is the vast majority of your team are what Brian Kelly talked about wanting, right? Guys that you bring out of high school and that you try to develop over time. I think one thing in the Kelly conversation too, we had a really great discussion in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat during the commercial break, and it was about market value and Brian Kelly not being willing to pay market value because no doubt, the market value for defensive tackles is massive right now. But it was painted as the unwillingness to pay was painted as stubbornness in one comment, and I don't agree with that. I don't think it's stubbornness. Now, it sounded like that with what he said, but I think it's more of an analyzing of the situation, and it's almost more like managing a salary cap or even just managing a locker room.
Yeah.
Because while I agree that some of the initial concerns over is NIL going to create disruption in the locker room, I was like, I don't really think so. It's your boy, get your money or whatever. This is the first time where I'm like, am I wrong there? Because what would it be like if all of a sudden a pretty good player shows up and it's 1 year and he's making more than anyone on the team and even making more than some coaches? Is it stubborn if you don't want to do that? Or do you think that's just bad management, bad leadership, bad business? So I don't know if I agree with the stubborn angle, even though I do agree that, the market value of defensive tackles right now is just super, super high.
You know, one of the things that we don't talk about when we have this conversation about how much you're spending in the transfer portal is you now have to spend to bring in these top classes. So LSU just brought in a really good class. That's going to cost you. And also, you know what LSU has like currently right now is like one of the top 3 classes in this next recruiting class that you've got to be able to have funds set away, and it's got the who's who. You got the top quarterback in the country. Like, those things cost money as well. It's not just what you're doing in the transfer portal. Like going back to the Boise State coach, right? Well, that's not the situation here at LSU or in the SEC. Like, you have to have those funds set aside. And if you want this all-time class, which this thing's setting up to be, like, you have to realize like some of that money is not going to be spent within this year. It's pushed down the road to bring in the next future stars.
And that's where that's a great point. That I hadn't really even considered. And that's where a contract like the one that Brian Kelly has gives him more leeway than a lot of coaches have to operate with a bit of a farther view, right? He doesn't necessarily have to pull out all stops to go all in this year. If he thinks that, okay, maybe we sacrifice a bit here in the short term, but we gain in the long term because we now have that $1 million to invest in finalizing that really good class that we have coming in next. So I see where it's coming from, man. I just think it's a tough spot. And look, just at a certain point, okay, so the new name coming out here is, and the thing is, it sounds like he get it really expensive, but it's Javier Suggs. And he's actually from Grand Valley State. Brian Kelly's old school. So, and actually, Coach Kelly's youngest son played on Grand Valley State with Suggs last year. It's an interesting, he's from Flint, Michigan. He's 6'3", 280. He's had a really productive last 2 seasons. 14 and a half tackles, 8 sacks, 9 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. Be a huge jump in competition. But Jake, look at this offer list, and I wonder how expensive he even gets. Because right now it's Arkansas, Florida State, Kentucky, Michigan, USC, Wisconsin. Wisconsin just lost another D lineman in the portal, CJ West to Indiana. Like, it's this too could get maybe a little too expensive. We'll have to wait and see.
Hey, can we get the family discount? I mean, the Callie's Grand Valley State, a lot of history there. What's that family discount talking about? And some listeners might be like, Grand Valley State, like, can he play? And I understand you saying that, but remember, you're looking for right now a rotational piece that can come in and you don't lose a lot when you bring in that rotational piece. Like, that's kind of where you're at right now. Like, there was a couple of what we thought could be game changers in the defensive tackle class. I would say 2, 3 at most. You didn't get those players, but you still need to add depth because that's what you don't have. Like, you've got, like, Jacoby Giller's been here for a long time. Like, that's going to be a solid, defensive tackle right there in the middle of your defense. That's fine. And you're bringing in a couple of different guys. Like, you're bringing in one from Wisconsin that you're hoping can step up. Like, you need Jalen Lee to step up more than he stepped up so far in his career. You've got young guys in this signing class that can come be, nice, emergency depth pieces, one being a 5-star player. But you also, like, you need at minimum 4 guys that are veteran guys, I think, that are rotating in because there's a lot of helmet tapping at that position. Like, hey, your boy needs one. I need you to, come get me, right? And you don't want that to become a deficiency where teams, and trust me when I say this, they have analysts now that look for stuff like that. And when those top-tier defensive tackles come out of the game because they're helmet tapping, and here comes the second unit, they will check to it like an inside zone right then and there.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what you have to make sure that you don't fall into.
Well, and you didn't pay Bo Davis just to recruit, Yeah. So he has to make Jalen Lee and these guys better. Hey, you want to know a funny thing about Suggs before we go to break? I know we're late here, but Suggs actually went to the same high school as Garrett Dellinger. And you're like, wow, Dellinger's been at LSU forever, right? Suggs was a senior in high school when Dellinger was a sophomore.
There's no
He's
way.
actually older than Dellinger, but Suggs has 2 years left. He was at Grand Valley. He was redshirt, year canceled for COVID, medical redshirt in 21, and then played in 22 and 23. So my man's is going into his 6th year of college.
There's no way.
Yeah.
God, I mean, Dellinger's been here, it feels like, since Joe Burrow was here. I mean, I know he hasn't, but it feels like it. Okay. All right. Well, hey, he's got 2 years left. he's going to be grown. He is definitely going to be a grown man by the time he leaves wherever he ends up choosing. And so, all right, another defensive tackle. We'll be on that watch to see where he lands, and hopefully LSU can get one of these guys. We'll step away, finish up hour number 1 of OTB when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. And we've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, and we tell you, like, anytime spring break's coming up or Christmas break, whatever, like now you got summer coming up, well, you've got your vacation probably already planned. But go ahead and plan that rental as well, because if you need something bigger, or if you just want something bigger and you want to save on gas, the Hybrid Sienna is the way to go. And you still got a couple more weeks before the kids get out of school. So it is not too late to call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department and get that reserved today, even if it's not a Sienna, if it's a Sequoia, if it's a 4Runner, Tacoma, Tundra, whatever. Everything is available in that rental process over at All-Star Toyota.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Your one-stop vehicular shop, man, right off of Airline and Goodwood, very conveniently located. And remember, if you need to get a service, you need some body work done, you get in an accident, insurance claims are welcome, free professional estimates, take it into the service center at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new.
Charles Sandegriff joins us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Snow Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway in Gonzales. Dwayne Colucci and Matt Humans join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, and welcome back in to OTB. T-Bob, I feel like you'd appreciate this. Taylor and I talking right before we came back on yesterday for the birthday. The Bush League Bolts, I didn't get anything, which fine. Look, it's been a while. The Broncos send like a team hat. They send like an email.
Wait, hold on. So have the Bolts sent you stuff before?
For like alumni day, yeah, I'll get like a nice little hat and stuff, but I've never gotten a birthday present from them. And I played.
But the Broncos send birthday present. I guess look, I know me and you stand differently on birthdays because like I never know anybody's birthday, but like that's pretty thoughtful of them. Like that's crazy to me.
Dude, thoughtful is just the word that I use when I send back because they sent a hat and then they sent like this email with like this custom design of me in a Broncos uniform with like a birthday deal like in the background.
What?
I know. I'm like, dude, I played like...
How many years were you in Denver?
Like, dude, like a year and a half max, like really more of a year. And I was in San Diego for 5, and I was telling Taylor, like, I was a team captain in San Diego, like there for a long time. Nothing. It's funny how different organizations do things differently.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like a huge feather in the Broncos cap, dude, to be taking care of all their old homies like that. And I mean, because that means that they have like some sort of like master list. And then they have a graphic designer who sits there on the clock being paid to make something like that. Like that's actually crazy, dude. Shout out Denver. I used to love those old Elway teams growing up. I was obsessed because I was like kind of a front runner little kid when it came to the NFL in a lot of ways. So okay, that just rekindled some of my Broncos love right there.
I know, like I hate the fact that they ruined the uniforms because they had good uniforms in my opinion, and now they've ruined them. But I appreciate the graphic.
Are they going to be any good though?
And yeah, you have to say ruin with a T when you really mean it. So yes.
How do you think about Bo Nix, dog?
Gonna throw a lot of pick six.
We'll see, dude. We'll see. Hey, start thinking about it, guys. Coming up hour 2 at 8 a.m., I wanna try to put together the top 5 SEC players of the last 25 years. And I think there's an easy big 3 here. Mm-hmm. And then I think it becomes horribly complicated after that.
We have to give a top 5?
Yeah, I want to get top 5.
Okay. Top 5. Big 3. Our big 3 might be different, but I think they're probably going to be the same.
I think so. Don't say anything yet. I don't want anybody. Let's not say anything yet. But I think our big 3 is going to be the same. We'll see though.
All right, we'll see. We'll do that. LSU softball. We'll give you an update there. They've got another morning game. I think we have Coach Johnson joining us in hour number 2 as well. Stay locked in here for OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to TrashRangersLLC.com. TrashRangersLLC.com. And like people are starting to really find out about Trash Rangers. Like it is no longer a secret. So if you're in Ascension and you're in Livingston Parish, we are talking to you surrounding parishes as well, because like every day, and the way that we kind of know this, the ratings and reviews go up every single day. Like we're almost at 4,000 ratings and reviews. Like when we started out, it was like 3,600, right? I mean, by the hundreds, people are finding out about Trash Rangers. And again, you can as well. And we mentioned Ascension and Livingston surrounding parishes, but also like for roll-off dumpsters, we're talking to everybody. Like if you're in the listening area, like I told Flynn, my high, you know what they need? They need a red dumpster out there from Trash Rangers because now they can come into Baton Rouge as well. TrashRangersLLC.com.
Well, and the best part is it's not like they have any national bosses that they got to check in with and make sure that the price is okay. No, they work with you directly to serve your business and your trash needs. TrashSignup.com.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, May 9th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll talk about the top 5 players in the SEC since the year 2000. We'll continue our discussion with LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson as he hops on to preview the weekend series against Alabama, the NFL story of the day, and a whole lot more. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 of OTB, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jake, T-Bob, Alondra, Taylor, all here with you on a Thursday morning. And here we're going to talk top 5 SEC players in the last 25 years. It is wild when you start to do some research, T. Like guys like that you don't even know like how special their season really was. Like Cody Schrader has the 13th best all-time single-season rushing total in SEC history. You know what I mean? Like,
I get exactly what you mean. It is funny, though. I did not expect this conversation to begin
I know.
with a Cody Schrader name drop.
Like Trayvon Williams from A&M in 2018 has got the 7th best all time. Trey Mason from Auburn's got the 5th best of all time in 2013.
Trey Mason is 1,000% sneakily forgotten. Maybe it's because it didn't work out in the league. I mean, what did he do in the SEC championship?
It was
like
Wasn't it him that did like the cartwheel basically in the national championship game too?
That was
We're gonna
Michael
need
Dyer.
to look up some.
Okay.
We're gonna need to look up
Same
some Trey
thing.
Mason facts because I can't remember what I read the other day because we read a million things.
I know.
But I saw a Trey Mason tweet the other day, and I was like, "Well, damn, okay, why? That's crowd. I had no idea." Shout out Trey Mason.
Yeah, I'm with you. How do we want to do this?
Hold on. So I get what you're saying, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of good there and a lot of underappreciated good. But when I tell you top 5 SEC players since the year 2000, give me the name or names that immediately pop into your head.
Joe Burrow, Cam Newton.
Yes. And so you're not.
Nope.
There's a third. Joe Burrow, Cam Newton are the obvious ones. They're all over the place. I think there's a third obvious one.
I'll tell you
You're
this.
not going there.
I'll tell you this. That's what he wants me to say.
Yes,
I'll
go
tell
on.
you this. The 5 that came to my brain that I wrote down without doing the research, I wrote down Burrow, Cam, Tyron, Manziel, Derrick Henry. How do you argue with any of those players? Derrick Henry, by far, the most rushing yards in a single season in SEC history.
No, Derrick
well
Henry
over
is-
2,000.
He's on my 5. Derrick Henry's on my 5. I think, and he is the guy that most kind of stands out individually from the Crimson Empire.
Yes.
But bro, I think Tebow's got to be in the big 3.
I don't know. Who am I going to take out?
I think who is okay. So you had Tyron, Henry, and Manziel. I'd take out Manziel.
Look at the
I think I'm
stats.
Manziel
But if
easy.
you look at the stats, T, and you look at the players around Manziel compared to the players around Tim, I think you have to take a good hard look at
Tebow
Manziel
gets
versus
bonus
Tebow.
points. I think Tebow gets bonus points for volume, kind of the numbers, not volume stats, but like the numbers of years that he did it, winning the Natty, getting the Heisman. I know he had better players, but I think Tebow has to be on the list. I mean, Tebow changed college football in a lot of ways. Now again, when we go back and look at highlights, it does look very funny. It makes you feel old because it almost looks like a different era of football. Like him compared to Jaden Daniels or even Cam Newton. It looks like you're watching a guy kind of in slow motion. But I mean, honestly, the Tyron thing is another tough one for me, because
he changed the game as a defensive player more than anybody that I can remember. If we're making this list,
I'm inclined to agree. I'm just not sure if I'm biased. Right? Like, does a Roquan Smith or a Patrick Willis deserve to be on that list?
Look, P. Willie's the best football player that I ever played against. It's not close. It's not up for debate for me. But still, Tyron was doing things that nobody did on defense. Like, he was taking the ball away at, like, the highest clip that I've ever seen. Like, he was making plays. Like, that's how you get the nickname Honey Badger. Like, the Kentucky play alone. Like, nobody was doing that. And also you throw in what he was doing in the return game as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but are we biased if we end up with 2 LSU guys on this list out of 5 the last 25 years? I mean, it's now, further examination says maybe not, because like as good as Alabama is, it is hard to find like a singular name that stands above the rest. Like maybe Devontae Smith, that season he had in
Bryce Young
2020
second all-time single season, only behind Burrow, his Heisman year.
Who is that?
Bryce Young.
I know the problem with Bryce Young is I feel like if you're a quarterback on this list, you almost have to have a natty to your name.
Oh, poor fella. You're
and
right. I mean,
somehow he went through
didn't
Alabama
win one.
and did not win one. I do
Heisman
not fully understand it.
Won a Heisman, played like his entire time basically. It's almost impossible during that time frame to not have one, but he doesn't.
So it's like, Bryce Young was great. And he would stand out amongst the Alabama backdrop, but it's like Derrick Henry. I mean, and we do need a defender on the list. So maybe that's where Tyron gains some advantage as well. What about like a Jadeveon Clowney? I guess he didn't do too good his senior year, though. He was kind of checked out and trying not to get hurt.
Same thing with Myles Garrett.
What about Darren McFadden?
D-Mac was probably 7th. Because I got Tim like 6th. And D-Mac was probably 7th on my list.
What about Will Anderson?
No. Great player.
No natty?
Great player, but just not on this list. Like, we don't have a receiver either. So, like, even like Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. How about this stat? 4 of the 7 greatest receiving seasons in SEC history belong to an LSU Tiger. 4 of the 7.
Damn, that. So who would it be?
So you got
Jamar
this.
Chase.
This is
Justin
receiving
Jefferson.
yards in a season. You got Jamar at number 2, Josh Reed at number 3, Malik at number 6, Jefferson at number 7.
Damn. Wide receiver, you, dude. This whole time we thought we were DBU, and we actually had it completely opposite. We were the inverse the whole time. I mean, does Patrick Peterson belong on this list?
That's a name that I would. That's a name that I kind of thought of.
I love Pat Pete, but if we're putting one defender on this list, I'm not getting away. Like I want to put Glenn Dorsey on this list.
I would go Tyron over Pat Pete.
Like Glenn Dorsey finished in the top 7 in the Heisman Trophy voting as a defensive tackle. Like I want to put him on this list. There was no player, like when I was playing in the NFL, there was no player that we talked more about in the locker room than Tyrann Mathieu. Not one.
I know.
Offense or
defense.
defense.
As a true sophomore, does Tyrann get dinged because he didn't get to finish out his career?
I know that when I was doing this list, I looked at career. And like Tyrann single season, that just personally, I mean, it's opinionated, obviously. I looked at total career. Like, I think Cam Newton was the only person in my top 5 that played 1 year in the SEC.
So, Taylor, what's your list then?
He actually played multiple. He just played at Florida as a backup.
Yeah. I would go, no particular order. Burrow, Cam, Tebow. I'm putting McFadden because of how versatile he was. And then I guess at defense, I'm going Peterson.
Not a bad list either. We need to somehow see if we can nail it down for social media, because this would be a good graphic to put out there. But this is a tough argument to have. Yeah, this is a great Mount Everest. This is a great Mount Everest right here. The Mount Everest of SEC players since 2000.
Yeah. Well, look, you got to have some controversy too. You got to have something that gets the people moving, and so. Mine's going to be, I guess, leaving Tebow off because I'm getting some slander in the chat for leaving.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Tebow
Once we get a top 5, then I say we rank him, and I think a compromise could potentially be Tebow at 5 if you feel that strongly.
So
about
okay,
it.
Here's the question. And again, I'm friends with Tim. I like Tim a lot. Tim is one of the best football players we've seen, right? But so is everybody else on this list. And here's the question, T-Bob,
when he's not castrating kids.
I'll pose. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that whole conversation. I'll throw this one to you, okay? You're down 6.
Yeah.
You're on your own 25-yard line. You've got 2 minutes left in the game. Are you choosing Tebow over Joe, Cam, or Manziel in that situation?
I would choose him over Manziel. I would not choose him over Joe or Cam.
Yeah.
You would choose him over Manziel in that situation?
Yeah.
I would too.
I think Manziel
he
was
had that
flashy
situation
and
here at
exciting.
LSU after I scored. He had about a minute and a half left. Just saying.
Oh, no doubt. Tim's not perfect. Nobody is, but Tim's favorite guy. All of our favorite guys. But no, no. I mean, look, I love Manziel. Again, he was super crazy, exciting, and you're right. He did okay. If I was ranking this list, I would actually put I would put Cam over Burrow for the very reason that you're saying Manziel kind of deserves to be on here, right? Because he was not on the best team and he made them really good. And he didn't have Mike Evans stuff, but still ends up going 11-2, beating Alabama. But Tebow had an all-time good team just full of NFL players. Well, I kind of view Burrow the same way. Now it doesn't take away. We're splitting hairs here, right? Everybody we are discussing is great. But when you do these Mount Everest conversations, it sounds like you're being negative when you're really not. We're just splitting hairs and trying to rank things.
Yes.
And so because I've never seen a single player lift a team as much as what Cam Newton did, I would have him barely edging out Burrow at the top. And saying, well, T-Bob, why aren't you treating Manziel the same way? It's because I do think Manziel was maybe a little too wild and not as he just did. I just can't put him over Tebow. Dude, Tebow defined college football for a while, and again, he has the Heisman, he has the Natty. Manziel has 11-2, which is respectable.
Tim Tebow is 17th in career passing yards in the SEC, behind Andre Woodson, Bo Wallace, Kellen Mond, Casey Clausen.
I think I don't think
Eric
I need a
Zier.
passing yards stat. I think I need a total touchdown.
So
stat.
somebody
And
put
see what he would
it
rank
in the
that.
chat. Tebow, 87 passing touchdowns, 59 rushing touchdowns in his career.
But if you're saying that he needs a natty, like Johnny Manziel didn't get a natty.
I wouldn't put
I'm
Johnny Manziel on
saying
this
that. Jake's not saying that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying T-Bob. If you're saying
he
like,
doesn't have Johnny Manziel in his though.
Yeah,
I don't have Johnny Manziel.
And again, this was just the first 5 names that I wrote down. Like, we haven't even mentioned the guy that's the all-time leader, and a guy that we both work with, Aaron Murray.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about Aaron, but it's kind of the same thing.
If he
as
would have
Tebow.
won a natty,
great
yeah,
career.
I mean, yeah,
great volume statistics,
Yeah.
but
I mean, he's the leader, and it's not really even close.
I know.
Will Rogers is almost 1,000 yards behind him, and Will Rogers lived in the air raid and started his entire time
and played
before he
8
transferred.
years in the SEC.
Yeah.
Well, Will Rogers, Aaron got real lucky that old Will Rogers done left. He done left the SEC, and his records are intact. So look, I don't think you can have a list, a top 5, and have Johnny Manziel in there and not Tim Tebow. That feels crazy.
I get, dude, the argument I do. My mind just went to, if I am the head coach and I got to go win the game, Manziel came to my mind because we saw him on the road in Tuscaloosa, go do that. And look, Tim did it plenty of times as well. I'm just trying to think of if I'm calling the plays, who I would want to have out there. And maybe I'm allowing today's college football to maybe cloud my judgment here because I think Manziel works way better in today's college football than Tim would.
Well, and I also
because Manziel
really,
had some Caleb Williams in him where he was going to manipulate the pocket, move the pocket with him, buy space, buy time. I'm not saying he's the most athletic guy, but he would, even behind an offensive line that wasn't as good, he would find a way.
Yeah, I guess my one of my things though is also in terms of intangibles, Cam off the charts, Burrow off the charts, Tebow off the charts, Johnny not so much. If Johnny Manziel had the work ethic of those other 3 guys, he would probably be on this list. And who knows how good he could have been. He was out there freestyling.
Mm-hmm.
Not watching film, doing nothing, basically just putting an and one mixtape on display every Saturday, and he still managed to do what he did, which is objectively great. Okay, how about this?
How do we not have a Manning on this in this conversation?
I mean, maybe Eli. He was a 2003 SEC West Coast champion.
Peyton's 5th all time in touchdown passes. And he was. They put that up in the stadium. So.
Yeah, but Peyton got cucked by T. Martin, I mean, T comes in and wins a natty after Peyton couldn't. That's I don't know. That's tough. Yeah. It's tough. It's a crazy. There's been an insane amount of talent. It's like you said, P. Willie, right? Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, even Will Anderson. Those are the most productive pass rushing seasons I can think of.
Thomas
and none
Davis,
of them even feel like they sniffed the list.
David Pollock.
Yes.
I mean, we go.
So,
Brandon Spikes,
Chase
Danny
Daniel.
Crowder. Does Chase Daniel have naked pictures of you? He has to. And he's blackmailing you to talk nice about him everywhere you go.
Hold up now, dude. Chase Daniel put up some numbers. Let's not be crazy here. But yeah, I'm just.
You going Chase Daniel or Matt Flynn?
No,
bro. You going Chase Daniel or Matt Flynn?
No, I mean, do we want to compare the numbers? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I asked you a question.
No, I'm going Matt Flynn. I'm going my boy, dude. Duh.
Thank you. If you had said Chase Daniel, you would have had a strongly worded text coming your way.
Okay, how about this? Cam 1, Burrow 2. Henry 3. Tebow 4, Tyron 5.
I can agree to that. I can agree to it. I can get behind that. Now, Joe and Cam 1, 2, splitting hairs. I mean, I'm taking either one of those guys.
I agree.
I think there is a big gap between 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 to me, no matter who you ask, I feel like that's going to be the answer and pretty quick. And then there's a little bit of a gap. But 1 and 2, that's going to be 90% of people's 1 and 2.
Now, admittedly, I have like a bias following on Twitter, but the anecdotal evidence would support that, in that the overwhelming answers are Cam and Burrow, and then third most would be Tebow, and then it's kind of a smattering thereafter. Okay, so Cam, Burrow, Henry, Tebow, Matthew. That's a Mount Rushmore, boys.
That's a Mount Everest, too.
Oh, crap. I screwed up the joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually said it right.
Yeah, you did. And Rushmore's only got 4. We need more space. Everest.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's a Mount Everest, boys. There you go. Done and done. Put the graphic out. You're welcome, Marler.
Yeah, right. Alonzo,
wait, how funny is it that Marler's like on our side now?
I know. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like, I'm just waiting for him to, kind of turn on us and be like, I'm from the inside. I'm going to do
Yeah, exactly. That little like fox in the hen house situation. Yeah, he's going to make us think like he's like all cool with us and then try to eat us when we're asleep.
Yeah, like he's wearing LSU hats and stuff.
What? I didn't see that, bro. Mm-hmm. Hold up now. What? I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, I'll send you the clip. Alondra, did you want to add anybody, talk about anybody, wax poetic about anybody before we let this
No,
be
so
stamped?
the final one is what I had as my top 5. So I
Oh,
completely
no
agree.
way.
Yeah.
Good. All right,
Yeah.
good. Well, I'm glad we gave Derrick Henry some love. Some
Let's
running
go,
back love.
Alondra, dude. Spot on.
2,000 plus yards in the SEC at that time at Alabama when people knew you were going to run the football. That's beast. So we got to give him some love.
But maybe I'm biased against Johnny Manziel because I hated him and I also hate the Texas.
Oh, you're a Texas fan.
Yeah, but I look at it where I'm a fan of a team that played Johnny multiple times, never feared Johnny Manziel being on the other side.
Because LSU owned.
That's what I'm saying. I did not fear Johnny Manziel
just
at
as a
all.
program, not just Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Well, Johnny.
Oh, no.
I didn't like Johnny.
Bro,
but
what about Vince Young?
Well,
no, that's not SEC. That's not
Well,
SEC.
he's
No,
SEC
no,
like
sorry.
now, but no, you don't get no.
No,
you're Big 12.
No, that's on me.
Because
That's on me. I saw it in chat and I was like, oh, but then no, that's not SEC.
Because that would
Get the hell
open
out of
up Colt McCoy,
Right, 'cause I
and that
was-
would open up Oklahoma's quarterbacks.
And then I was thinking like Reggie Bush, and then I was like, no, just SEC. We're not doing all of NCAA.
Yeah.
So,
You're right,
but yeah,
you're right. My
I thought about Vince Young too, but I was like, that's not the SEC.
Not yet.
No, and it wasn't at the
officially.
time that
Yeah.
he was playing.
Right.
So,
Gosh, I'll never forget my visit to Texas. They're playing against New Mexico State. Chance Mock was leading the country in quarterback rating, I think passer efficiency. I think he led as well. And I'm like, man, okay, Chance Mock. And then Vince Young came in garbage time. He made like 3 plays, and the entire crowd was like, well, Vince Young next week, huh?
I ain't never heard of Chance Mock, bro.
And exactly. He was the starting quarterback. Like, dude, he was like 13 touchdowns, 1 interception going into the game or something. And then Vince came in, and the entire crowd, you could feel the shift of, well, so Vince starting next week, right? That was it. That was a wrap. Poor Chance. I think he still works for the program. All right, we're going to take a break. More OTB on the other side when we come back on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 24/7 emergency services over there at Central Plumbing. Doesn't matter what day it is, 365, 24/7, holiday, game day, does not matter. Late on the weekends, they'll be there. 225-925-8552 is that number. And T-Bob will tell you more about that. I'll also tell you more about the remodel game. If you're looking to upgrade at your home or business, they'll come in, they'll do that. If you're looking to upgrade and go tankless with the tankless water heater, never run out of hot water again. You get home late from dance or the ball field, whatever it might be. I said bar, that too. And you still got laundry, you still got dishes, you got things you got to do. You can do it all at the same time when you have a tankless water heater because you will literally never run out of hot water.
That's right, baby. CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org. Flat rate pricing, 24/7 emergency service, 50 years of experience, licensed, bond insured employee, great warranty. Once the work is done, whether it's just a repair, a completely new installation, there's nowhere better than CentralPlumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson talking Saints, Joe Healy talking SEC baseball, and Chris Blair on the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, we are back here on OTB, a little Thursday morning OTB, talking great SEC players. Real quick, I swear we'll move on. Percy Harvin's the name that we got to throw out there into the ether.
Yeah.
If we're talking Florida, if we're talking Tebow, we got to give an attaboy to Percy Harvin.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like how Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson don't get mentioned, right?
I know.
Despite the fact that they were both incredible. I mean, Percy Harvin was absolutely, if Tebow was 1A to that era of Florida football, Harvin was 1B. He was, you had never really seen anything like him at the time or how they employed him, and it was brutal to have to deal with.
Yep, no question. All right, also some LSU baseball news from a former player, Paul Skeens, promoted to the active roster for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and so 21 years old, by the way. Does he feel older than that? 21.
Yeah, no, he absolutely feels older than that. I mean, we got a 28-year-old walk-on former big leaguer at Arkansas now. It's crazy that Skeens is already making his MLB debut. I mean, how long was he in the minors for?
Not very long.
27 innings?
Not very long.
He was in AAA. Yeah, he was in AAA.
I mean, last year, once he got drafted,
27 and a third.
Yeah, you just go basically put on the uniform and finish the year out. But this year in AAA, he allowed 3 earned runs in 27 and a third, striking out 45 batters in 27 innings.
Unreal, dude. And yeah, and now I don't know, man. It's just tough for me because here he's making his debut against my Cubbies, dude. My heart is a bit torn in two here. I will say this:
I don't know what to do with
how crazy is it? How crazy is it that, or how much pressure would there be on you? You're making your major league debut against the Chicago Cubs in front of your home crowd, right? Sometimes I know managers will have these big name rookies make their debuts in an away stadium, maybe a more sleepy stadium, so they can kind of get their feet wet. No, the Pirates are like, hell no, you're so hyped, you're so badass, you're number 1 overall pick. Everybody's expecting you to just go out there and dominate at 21 years old. We're going to throw you up against the Cubs at home. It is going to be a packed house. It's on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's massive. And I can't wait to see how he does.
Some players, they wilt in that and some players thrive. I feel like Skeens is the one who will thrive in that. He's got that personality of, I want every eyeball to know and be here for what I'm about to do to the Cubs, to T-Bob's Cubs.
Yes, my Cubs. Yeah. No. I agree. I think, and his attitude's been pretty good. They were kind of asking him about, actually, Brooke Fletcher interviewed him here on the stadium, and they were asking him about what do you think you need to do to have success to the next level, and he was just kind of I don't know, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. It's going really well.
God, if he would have given the Kenny Powers answer, that'd have been so good.
Wait, what?
If he would have just given the Kenny Powers answer, that would have been so good.
Oh yeah, but that is
throw the baseball
schemes.
Fast as
that
F.
is schemes. And he's got that. I just can't get over. This is why I love watching him pitch so much. I just can never get over his motion. It's just so smooth, and it doesn't appear to put stress on his arms like other pitchers do. He uses every bit of that frame. I mean, literally, I think you could do a sports science on him and a lot of pitchers, but especially his style, where I think he creates the same physics as a whip. How in a whip, all of that undulating motion eventually builds and builds and builds, and then you get to that point, the actual crack of the whip, and it's way more powerful than it should be, right? You can do a simple wrist flick and do some damage. Well, in that same way, Skeens uses his entire body and his arms so loose, and then there's that scoof when the ball's released, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so. I want to be honest with you. I know you've gotten this new relationship with the Cubs, and you're jonesing for each other, and it's new, it's exciting. But I see you much more as someone who would be a fan of a team called the Pirates. Because they're the Pirates.
The Pirates mascot.
Yes.
I don't love their unis, but I love the mascot.
I do actually love the unis. I mean, it's this gritty city. You got Paul Skeens. They're the lovable losers. They haven't won a whole lot. They're not,
Andrew
Cubs,
McCutchen.
Yes, been there for multiple
forever,
times.
yeah.
And
He's
now
still
he's
there?
back. Well, he's back there.
Yeah, he's back.
I mean, I don't know. Cubs feels like what everybody else does, and that's not you. That's not typically T-Bob. I mean, the literal the Pirates is their mascot, and now they've got Paul Skeens. Yeah. They've got this great color combination, great stadium. I'm just saying.
I know, but I mean, Wrigley rocked my world, dude. Like I said, it was just I didn't even know you could bend like that. I didn't know you could do moves like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget it. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. I do feel like my Cubs have maybe been struggling to hit a little bit lately, though. So that should set up Skeens for some success.
Mm-hmm. Give me 2 position players for the Cubs.
Dansby Swanson, who is not hitting well. I think it's 220.
Mm-hmm.
and Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Something Bush. He hit the walk-off the other night.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He's a stud. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, he's a
I
rookie?
thought he was going to
No
hit us
way.
with the
That's
Anthony
even more
Rizzo.
I thought he was too. I thought we were going to get like Sammy Sosa, Anthony Rizzo,
Chris
Ryan
Bryant.
Sandberg,
Ryan
Ryan
Theriot.
Theriot. Yeah, Chris Bryant. He probably didn't know who Chris Bryant is. Do you know who Chris Bryant is?
Yeah, I remember Chris Bryant. He okay, did Rizzo play first or did Bryant? It was Bryant the one who threw it to Rizzo to close out the World
Chris
Series.
Bryant
Rizzo
played
played first
third.
base, yes.
Rizzo played first. He threw it to Rizzo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, look at me.
Big baseball guy.
How about that?
Big
How about that?
baseball
Big
guy.
Cubs fan.
Hey,
Okay, me and Hunt. I've been telling y'all for a year.
Mm-hmm.
For years. Even though yesterday I went to get wings on the south side and I still had my
You only ate
Cubs
17.
jersey on. I didn't really know where I was going. And I walk in and there was a lot of White Sox memorabilia around. And I was like, And I've still got like "Go Cubs Go" stuck in my head or whatever.
Yeah, you're lucky to get
So
jumped.
I feel like I was in enemy territory.
Yeah, probably pretty cool though. So that's very European soccer to like, because the stadiums are so close. Like, you know, Everton and Liverpool less than like a mile, and in North London you've got Arsenal and Tottenham, and these stadiums are right by each other. Like, you really got to be careful when you're walking around England where you walk into because they're so close. That's the same situation. You almost got jumped.
I did not realize those stadiums were so close.
Oh yeah, like you can see them from each other. Yeah.
Now I have learned since I've been here that the White Sox are terrible though.
Yeah, they won 8 games when you first got there. I don't know if they won any more since, but they were 8-27 when you landed in Chicago.
Yeah. That's I'm a front runner. Cubs. My Cubbies in first.
We've
What can I
always
say
done
to
that. You mentioned was it Monte Harrison, who played professional baseball and is now playing college football at 28 years old, committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks, part of the 2014 recruiting class. That was the Leonard Fournette recruiting class, in case you're wondering how long ago that was. How about this, though? So Christian Yelich, who you need to learn because he plays for the Brewers. He's in your division.
Former MVP for the Brewers. What do you mean? Got suspended for PEDs. Like, I know about Christian Yelich.
Off-brand Pete Davidson.
PEDs was Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun was PEDs.
Yeah, Christian Yelich.
Damn it!
Not yet.
But I know about Christian Yelich.
Okay, so he's in your division. All right. So in the trade that sent him from Miami to Milwaukee, here's what the 4 players that went back to Miami are currently doing. One is currently playing in the Mexican League. One is currently playing for the Lancaster Barnstormers of the Atlantic League. One is a head baseball coach at Dwyer High School, and the other is now playing college football.
It's I mean, that's classic Miami Marlin management right there. That is
not even
awful.
Playing in affiliated minor league baseball. None of them.
All right, T-Bob will love this, okay? T-Bob, in his recruiting class in 2014, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chris Godwin, Alan Lazard, Terry McLaurin.
And Malachi.
A lot of good receivers in that class.
Well, yeah, we know Malachi, Trey Quinn, Speedy Noyle. Like, we know those guys. But, like, these guys are NFL vets. Like, Juju's been in the league almost 10 years now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Maybe he's the next great receiver out of that class.
Look, we've seen this in baseball before. Brandon Whedon and Chris Weinke, Drew Henson. It's just always at the quarterback position, typically. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and it's not a big leaguer. This guy made it to the majors. He had major league at bats.
Yes, let me give a shout out to my boy, Joe Lawrence. He had major league at bats, came back and played a year for LSU, was a great mentor for me in 2004. I mean, like, I leaned on Joe Lawrence because, like, first time away from home, and he was huge for me. And he was here. He was a big leaguer, played catcher, came back to LSU, played baseball at Barb High School, and also he was our ringer on our intramural softball team.
Damn, you had him on the intramural softball team?
Playing shortstop, bro. We were turning double plays. Like, yeah, he was hitting bombs. Yeah. Look, he was a student. So what that he played in the
Why
MLB?
doesn't he just try out for the NFL? Can't you do that? Don't they do tryouts every once in a while?
Could.
Yeah, you have to be 3 years removed.
Yeah, but
from
he
high
won't
school.
make it. But he won't make it. He has to like learn
just
to
like
play
that
football
NBA
again.
conversation. Everybody's got a plan until they have 907 drill.
No, for sure, but I don't know. It's just
Oh, we gotta.
I wouldn't go.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's ask T-Bob about Austin Rivers' comments, and we'll do it right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to K2ZBlinds.com, K2ZBlinds.com. Yes, I skipped over one. We'll get back to the other one. K2ZBlinds.com. That is the place to go if you're looking for any drapes, if you're looking for that motorized screen that I currently have in my backyard that has really blown us away. Like, we had no idea that it was going to do as much as it's done for us. Brandon Barton, the team, they're going to come in, learn your space, know your space better than you do in like 5 minutes. All right, they've done it in my backyard. They've now done it in my kitchen as well. Everything is custom, and typically when you get custom, it's going to take a very long time. It's going to take months to get there. That's not the case. I mean, you get this, they install it, you're ready to go in no time. K2ZBlinds.com.
After working with K2Z, LSU great Rafe Rhymes once said, "This was the best investment I've ever made." And I would support that. If you want to bring your home to the next level, K2Z Window Coverings is there for you. And it's aesthetic, it's functional, it's easy peasy, it's K2ZZ.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
The best.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball will be with us, talk about LSU and Alabama in baseball, and we'll preview Saints rookie minicamp. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
T-Bob, I got to give you a lot of credit because I came in here a little weak-minded today, incredibly tired, and I'm like, I don't really know what it is. I didn't drink or anything, didn't stay up really late. I think it's literally because I'm used to eating healthy, and I ate 2 bad meals yesterday to celebrate Piccadilly for lunch, of course, and then I went to Panda Express at night.
Yeah.
And when I say I
went... Wait, you went to Panda Express for the birthday dinner?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
And I went like big boy. Like, ate way more than I typically do. I typically don't eat that kind of food, and I think my old ass is tired because of it. And I don't know how you do it because you love Chinese food. That's why I say that. You know, that's a comfort food for you. And shout out to you for bouncing back.
I kind of get like, even now I don't eat the absurd amounts of Chinese food in a single sitting that I used to, right? Like when I was on the plane the other day. Now, partially this because I was on a plane and, you know, got to be careful before you get play right before what you eat.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just got a bowl. Just a little Panda bowl, not even a double orange, just a little single orange and single chow mein. Hey, what's the difference between lo mein and chow mein?
I know the answer to this.
Okay, go
They're
ahead, Walker.
spelled differently, obviously, guys.
Oh God, I actually kind of like that joke, Taylor.
I do too, kind of. It's a
foul
tip. It's a foul tip. Like
congratulations.
you didn't connect. Don't shake your head like you did. You foul tipped it though. You got a chance to stay alive for another pitch.
I don't know another difference.
Oh, one's low and one's not.
Yeah, one's chow.
I kind of like the spelling more. But okay, but that's kind of my point. Like none of us know the difference. They are labeled different things, but I feel like I'm ordering the same thing when I get them and I smash them.
Chow mein is fried and lo mein is tossed.
Huh. Really?
Lo mein tends to be saucier with the texture some describe as slippery.
Yeah, I know lo mein always wins. I know that for sure.
Okay, now we're cooking gas. Now we're tossing with gas.
What?
See what you did there.
I don't know because I don't know.
Because it's tossed and not cooked.
With
you
gas?
usually say cooking with gas when you're like gaining steam.
Yeah.
But since you said it was tossed and not cooked.
I thought it was like now we're
somehow Jake picked up on all the random connective tissue that I tried to make with that joke. Good job, Jake.
Thank you. Look, I got a little jolt from that. I needed it because, again, Chinese food put me in a coma.
Hey, man, that happens. And to be fair, again, we've talked about this a ton in the past. As you get older, gastrointestinal health seems to matter more and more in terms of the mood that it can put you in and kind of the almost food hangover you can have. Like the reason why I've avoided it here in Chicago is because I just haven't been eating that all during the day. And then I'll just have like a big, I'll have like a big dinner when I just get like a lot of classic fare.
Man, I'm not gonna do that again though. That's a one and done for me. It's a one and done. Can't do it.
Look, man. Yeah. See, okay, but again, you know how this works with Chinese food. It's like drugs. What? Then you get them, then you do them, and the initial rush is incredible. And then there's the come down, and you feel awful, and you question your existence, and you say, I'm never going to do this again. And then sure enough time goes by, and the craving starts again. And then once that craving enters, there's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
And that vicious Mandarin cycle repeats itself all over again.
All right.
Anyways, Austin Rivers.
I know. Sorry.
Well, we got to go to break. I think we should go to break and then do Austin Rivers at the end.
Yeah, we do. Sorry. I had to let T-Bob know that I appreciate the way he can bounce back from eating food like that because it's got me a little down today. But Austin Rivers when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I can't talk about anything.
That's true.
Pathetic.
CommunitySteelCo.com. Go to the website today. They are waiting on you in Gonzales, Louisiana. They've been waiting on you for an hour and 46 minutes already. They open their doors at 7 a.m. and they want you to come into the shop, see what they're all about. And if you want to find out where they're located, go to that website, CommunitySteelCo.com, top right corner. Click on Community Steel, and it'll pull up a map of where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana. But if you're in the other parts of the state that you listen to OTB and you can't get there today, that's okay. You can go to that website, or you can pick up the phone, give them a call, 225-647-2020.
Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com. You need purlin, tubing, sheet metal, steel builds, steel accessories. It's all there at Community Steel, all manufactured on site. They purchase the steel directly from the wholesaler, and then they create it, and they sell it to you. You have a live and local sales team. You get a great price because there's no middleman jacking it up for you in the back end. Your one-stop steel shop, Community Steel Company.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
Sandigrove joins us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Snow Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway in Gonzales. Dwayne Colucci and Matt Youmans join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in to OTB. T-Bob, Austin Rivers, 2 days ago, we talked about it yesterday, said that 30 NBA players could play in the NFL and 30 NFL players could not play in the NBA. I agree that 30 NFL players could not play in the NBA, but to think that 30 NBA players had the mindset to play in the NFL, to me, is ludicrous. Where do you stand on Austin Rivers' comments?
Well, I'm glad you said mindset, because if we just were talking pure physical athleticism,
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
do think we could probably get 30 NBA players. I also don't think there's a single NFL player that can play in the NBA. I mean, maybe there's a hidden shooter amongst the bunch, but like athletically, it's just a height thing, dude. Also, Jake, you know this. There's also a truth that, like, if you can be a pro basketball player, you become a pro basketball player. Like, I've never met a guy who chose football over basketball. I knew a ton of guys who love basketball but knew their actual future was in football.
Charlie Ward?
But yeah, was that
Charlie Ward kind of could maybe choose a little bit.
No, he would, yes.
Yeah.
Charlie Ward would be the exception to this rule. But what did he end up choosing?
Yeah, basketball, yeah. I'm saying he's like the one. He's like
now,
the only guy
they told me he couldn't play football, which is odd.
Like,
but
he's like the
I
one
don't
guy
know.
that I could think like could actually probably do both. I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Oh, like from a mentality and
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Otto Graham, by the
did
way,
Julius
played.
Peppers play basketball? Was he good enough for the NBA or no?
No. I mean, he was good enough to play college, but
Miles Garrett can ball. I don't know if y'all have ever seen him
Yeah,
in
he
any of these
can.
celebrity
Bro,
games. He's
how
legit.
tall is Miles Garrett? How tall is Miles Garrett, Taylor?
6'5", 6'6"?
no, he's not that tall.
Exactly.
He's not.
So what
he's
is he,
not
a
even-
guard?
No.
Can he
I
shoot?
Zion's 6'5", 6'6", right?
I don't think Miles Garrett's that tall. I don't know. Otto Graham, I think, is one of the. There's two players I think that have played in the NBA and the NFL, and Otto Graham's one of them.
He's
a long
6'4".
time ago.
He's 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4".
6'4",
So he's
exactly.
he's getting.
Bro, Steph
yeah.
Curry's 6'3".
But again, like that. I'm not. NBA players are maybe the best athletes that we have. Athletes.
Yes.
I think Chris Long said it best, and we played it yesterday.
Oh, I love the Chris Long clip. I was going to say, I don't really need to add anything to that. Like,
no notes.
Chris Long was exactly right. Like, they don't have the mentality, the toughness, and I love his coaching angle as well. Like, they don't know what it's like to have a coach be able to truly dominate you and talk all that crap to you, because you can't really do that in the NBA, because in a way the coach needs you more than you need them.
Yeah, I put it out there on Twitter yesterday. I was like, no, I've heard a coach say, I wish your parents never met. What do you think LeBron would do if a coach told him that? You know what I mean? Like, no.
I mean, he's already firing coaches for just existing.
Exactly. Like, I was actually talking with Chris about this yesterday, and I'm like, dude, you go to 9-on-7 drill, you're chafed to all hell in every portion of your body because it's 1,000 degrees, it's humid, there's sweat everywhere, and then 9-on-7 starts, and then the Red Sea parts, and me as a fullback, I got to go block Patrick Willis on an ISO block, and then the next play, I waddle my sweaty ass back to the huddle, and then I got to go block Alden Smith on a power where I'm kicking him out. He's 6'5", 280. That's going to be fun. And then after I waddle back again to the huddle, you know what I've got? 10 more plays of 9-on-7. 9-on-7 made a lot of basketball players.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it, dude.
That's the difference.
I'm getting a headache.
I give them credit because they're more athletic. No doubt. They're way more athletic, I think, actually. But it's a mindset to play in the NFL. To go along with being, an athlete. And none of us can hit a fastball in the major leagues. So there's that too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, also true. Somebody just linked me this.
You and I had a foul tip of what was it? What was it? 90 what? We were hitting.
Didn't we make contact on 90? I'm kind of like pleased with that. I don't think that's bad.
I think it was higher than 90. I think that's what I'm saying.
I mean, athletes, dude.
No big
deal. Maybe if I hadn't quit baseball because I struck out 18 times in a row, I would have been a pro.
We'd be talking about you and Paul Skeens together.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to activeBR.com, activeBR.com. Go ahead and schedule your appointment today. Top right corner of the website. It's right there in red. Click on that, and chances are, it's 8:55 in the morning. They're going to be there today. And when they're on their way, they're going to send you a profile of exactly who is coming into your home, a picture of who is coming into your home, a little bit about that person just so you know them. Right? You also know you're going to get service to the highest degree. The internet literally hates everything, and they love AgTemp, AgTempBR.com.
AgTemp of Baton Rouge. Service to the highest degree is more than just lip service. Okay, they mean it. The reviews would speak to that. AC, heat, and electrical needs, they got your back. What if you want a whole home generator? Okay, storm season, fast approaching. And you want that peace of mind so that you know that you and your family are going to be protected, your groceries, everything else, all that delicious meat you've saved up from hunting season. That's all there with AgTemp of Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Thursday, May 9th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll have Big Deal or No Big Deal. LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson hops on with us at 9:15. And we'll talk about the latest with the New Orleans Saints. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 of OTB here on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. The whole gang is here with you. Going to have Jay Johnson join us in about 15 minutes from now to preview that Alabama series on the road in T-Town. But now here we want to do a little big deal or no big deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal. Big deal. No big deal. Big deal. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal.
Oh, hey, T-Bob. This one's for you, buddy. Big deal or no big deal? A new live-action Lord of the Rings movie is being written with Peter Jackson set to produce. The film will be titled The Hunt for Gollum, and it will currently be slated to be released in 2026.
So, when I first heard New Lord of the Rings being written, even with Peter Jackson producing, I was very skeptical. Then I heard the title. I wish it said Peter Jackson writing, but that's not here nor there. That's fine. I wish it could be Peter, Philip, and Fran, but that's fine. But then I heard The Hunt for Gollum.
Yep.
And directed by Andy Serkis.
Yep.
And now more open to it. Okay. First off, The Hunt for Gollum is a very rich story. It's very good. Like I think that's some real fun areas to explore there.
He'll star
also,
and direct it, right? If I'm obviously
what's
right.
that?
He's going to star and direct it, right?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Andy Serkis, of course, famously played Gollum, basically changed how we think about CG movie characters, really at the forefront, right after like Jar Jar and Dobby, right around that same time.
Jar Jar,
and nobody's done it better. And his look, while his direction maybe hasn't been as good as his acting, this is his wheelhouse. So, and with Jackson producing, I know like Andy Serkis, Jackson gave Andy Serkis his start in this. He allowed him to direct like a lot of the stuff in The Hobbit and whatnot. So, I'm a big deal, I would say. I'm much more bullish than when I first just heard new Lord of the Rings movie being made because I love the Hunt for Gollum story and I love Andy Serkis.
Alondra Taylor, thoughts? New Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I just recently watched the trilogy thanks to T-Bob, so I guess I'll be seeing it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alondra?
I don't really have an opinion on this.
Wow.
Wait, do we have a
There you go,
runtime? Do we
Alondra.
have an estimated runtime for this movie?
Oh, I mean, it's Lord of the Rings, so at least 2.5 hours, probably
At
3.
least.
Yeah.
Well,
Ooh, I
it'll
didn't
be
like
interesting to see, right?
the
Because
at least that
again-
Alondra gave right there.
Again, though, this is the problem. This is the only hang-up with stuff like this, and Rings of Power kind of suffered from this, is at the end of the day, Tolkien did not fully write out this story. You know elements of it, but you're going to be doing a lot of filling in the gaps yourself. And when you stray from Tolkien's writing, it is hard to produce things that are as good as Tolkien's writing.
Yeah.
Big deal or no big deal? Nikola Jokic wins another MVP. And when he was asked about it, he said, I'm kind of used to it, so I didn't even pay attention.
No big deal.
Yeah,
He's
no
the best
big
player
deal.
in basketball. Whoa, I was looking at a baseball topic. Look, you could look at this and say, that's kind of an arrogant thing to say. Not really. If you know Jokic, he's always a guy that's really to the point. I mean, last year when he won the championship, he's like, good, I can go home now. I've been wanting to go home for like 2 months. I can
That's
finally
true.
go home. I mean, he's just a casual guy out there. No big deal. We've seen it from him before.
I actually think this is the first time. I liked it with all the championship stuff. This does kind of annoy me.
It is a little arrogant.
People are putting everything they have. Like SGA should have gotten more love for this award anyway, but people are putting everything they have into trying to win this. And I'm not saying he has to be like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. But I mean, I don't mind showing a little. It's something about like I didn't mind when he did it with the championship because it was kind of fun. It's about like the team or whatever. But something about doing it with an individual award like this kind of upsets me a little bit. Where I wish he'd just been like, I'm very grateful. It's awesome. Like just something simple. Acting like you don't give a damn is kind of like a slap in the face that everybody does give a damn.
Okay, so this one we had at 9:15, but we've got Coach Jay Johnson at 9:15 now, and then Chef, and then Ask the Bench. So I don't know where else we're going to fit this in. This quote from Jason Kelsey, big deal or no big deal?
There's like some guys that even when they're just playing the highlight on draft day, you can like be like, oh, yeah. Like there was a tackle, got picked early out of Oregon State, and I saw like one pass set, and I was like,
oh, I know what
yep.
you're talking about.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. And then I saw him just completely demoralizing people after that. And I was like, man, this dude is a beast. Talisi Fuaga. Holy. You see like the balance and like the way their hips open up? Like
I know exactly what you're saying. I said the same thing. I'm pretty sure whoever drafted him thought the exact same thing when they saw him.
I don't even know who drafted him, but I just remember when it was like, da-na-na, and then they started showing his highlights. I was like, yes. And I saw his face. I was like, I met that guy in Philadelphia. He was cool too. And,
Okay.
Well, let's,
Big deal.
let's
or no
stay
big
on
deal?
this. Let's stay on this here for a little bit then. We can actually move away from big deal or no big deal for now, because I got to say, Jake, this got me more excited than anything that I have read or seen up to this point, because my brain, even maybe I'm dumb, but like, I love Jason Kelce. He was an incredible player. And I believe that a vet like that does have the ability to see something and be like, oh, this guy's going to be the next big thing. Because I feel like I've had similar moments even on a much lower level, right? I always tell the story about like Trey Turner, where we're in camp and we're watching film and he's a true freshman and he came in way overweight and, you know, he kind of struggled all summer, and then like the threes are in there in practice. And the first time I saw him move, I was like, oh, whoa, okay. This dude's gonna be different, and because of how exactly what you're talking about, like his kind of body control and his spatial awareness, and so I hear Kelce say that gets me more excited, and I trust that more than anything I heard from any scout or GM or anything like that.
There's no question about it. Like a veteran player like that, I am going to take him at his word, because he can also see the bad. Like he can see a kick sign and be like, oh, that ain't it, and I don't know that you can fix that. So, like, for him to just see a couple of clips and already know, like, that can absolutely happen. Like, I can even tell you, so when I signed with San Diego, or got drafted by San Diego, and we signed Mike Tolbert, he comes in, and Mike was, like, 245 pounds, so, like, fullback. I'm like, man, I just saw him actually take an inside zone. He ain't a fullback. He's a tailback. Like, this dude knows how to run, like, a zone, and he feels it and knows exactly what he's doing and where he's moving and how to read it and stuff. I'm like, it's going to look a little funny because he has me outweighed by 20 pounds and I'm going to be in front of him. But this dude's a tailback, all right? He ain't a fullback, right? Because you can see it and you can see the movements of it. We can't hear T-Bob.
T-Bob, I think you're muted.
I got to tell you, he's making some solid points right now, I can tell.
Yeah. Great.
My bad. I muted myself to cough or to sniff. No, so this sounds like a guy, though, where like he could come in and start immediately. And that's what he's going to be expected to do, to be clear. We've talked about it a ton. There's no question about it. And what I love is that he started, Kelce did, by falling in love with the pass set. And we know Fuaga's been painted as this incredible run blocker, and then maybe the work to be done is on the pass set. But to hear Jason Kelce just talk about it, when he immediately saw the kick step, he just knew this guy had it. Yeah, I'm more of a Fuaga believer, and I already felt good about him, but now I'm more of a believer than ever. Yep. Because when you impress those old heads, that's the old heads are good at spotting who kind of the next guys up are going to be.
Yep, I think that's a great endorsement. Now we just got to find out if he's going to play left or right tackle for the New Orleans Saints. All right, Taylor.
I don't know, man. What do you have an opinion there, or does it not matter? I kind of feel like you play him wherever he's best and let the defense rush where they want to.
Yeah, gosh, it's just so much is leaning on a couple of things. Trevor Penning, and can he give you anything? And then also Ryan Ramczyk, is he going to be even available for you? Best case scenario, Ramczyk surprises us. He's available. He plays right tackle, and you slot him over to left tackle. Because I just don't think you want to mess with the psyche of Trevor Penning right now. If you try to move him to right tackle, he's not even doing left tackle well. So the best possible scenario is Ryan Ramczyk would find the fountain of youth somehow.
But let's operate under Ryan Ramczyk not giving you anything, because that feels more and more like that's the case.
We're not going to have that negative energy here today.
Okay. I mean, my point is, between right and left, I say play Fuaga where he's best, because like we've discussed in the past, nowadays
that's your investment.
NFL teams do tend to just put their best pass rusher on your worst tackle.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, if that's the case, let's try to put Fuaga in the position where he's at his personal best, so then we can at least get everything that we can out of that position.
I agree with you. And even if you had to, like, again, not best case scenario, but Landon Young has played right tackle in his career. Like, if he had to play, I know he's played more guard as well. You don't want him at left tackle. So, like, even like your secondary pieces feel like they could play right tackle enough to be able to allow you to kind of move some pieces around. So
let me ask you guys this, because this is something that I literally just thought of. It may not matter Fuaga has said, I'm comfortable playing both. Now, he's obviously going to be better at one or the other. Let's say he's just as good at left tackle as he is at right tackle. Do you get Derek Carr's opinion on the matter and be like, hey, where do you want this guy if he's your best tackle? I mean, like, is that something they do in the NFL, Jake? I mean, you've been in NFL huddles.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. I think quarterback's not even going to. He's just going to want to be protected.
I didn't think so. I was like, this is just a total hypothetical.
He's just going to want to be protected. Do you want your blind side covered? Yes, but like T-Bob said, your TJ Watts are not going to be on your right side anyway. Like teams aren't going to put their best rusher on your best tackle. They're going to try to create a mismatch like anybody should. Like for so long they didn't, which was just not smart football. But yeah, you're not getting. Just give me a clean pocket. And actually, they want to be clean at the middle more than on the edges. That's something we don't talk about a lot, but they want to be able, because if it's on the edges, they can escape. They can step up. You can't step up if it's coming from, either guard or center position. So,
the one time Drew Brees struggled in his career was when they kind of stopped, like they started taking his ability to overcome anything on the offensive line for granted because he's going to get rid of the ball. But then the interior, that's how they did the Max Unger trade. That's why they traded Jimmy Graham, was to right that ship. And I like McCoy at the middle. We got to get more out of Caesar Ruiz this year. And who else is going to be guard? I don't know. Saints O-line's kind of a problem.
Could be Landon Young.
But Fuaga, maybe not a problem, according to Jason Kelsey, who I would trust in my life because I love him in so many ways.
There you go. Stamp of approval. We're going to be joined by LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson to break down the Alabama series coming up in T-Town, and we'll do that when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com. Now, we tell you every single day, certainly they can help you. Anything that you need with your roof, that's commercial or residential, they have got you covered. But don't forget the construction side of Coleman Roofing and, you guessed it, construction. Because if you have a situation where we have a bad rainstorm here, as we always do at this time of year in Baton Rouge, well, you have a leak on your roof, well, you got to get that fixed, obviously. But if it did damage inside of your home, they can come in and truly be a one-stop shop. They're going to be, and not just because like, hey, I think we can do this. No, it's part of what they do. They come in, they fix the interior, drywall, flooring, whatever got, damaged by that leak. They can come in and fix that as well. Go find that information on their website at ColemanRoof.com.
That's right. Coleman Roof, Louisiana's most complete, most reliable, most respected roofing company, y'all. Any size job, commercial, residential, anywhere in the Gulf South region, any type of roof that you need. I can't say enough. The construction portion as well. ColemanRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson talking Saints, Joe Healy talking SEC baseball, and Chris Blair on the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB here on 104.5 ESPN. It is always our pleasure each and every week to be joined by the head coach of LSU baseball, Jay Johnson, who joins us now. Coach, we appreciate your time. How you doing today?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
We are doing great. I'm here in studio. T-Bob's actually in Chicago, so I want to actually start there. He is now fallen in love, Coach, with the Chicago Cubs. He goes to one game at Wrigley. He's got the Cubs jersey on. He forgot about growing up a Braves fan, but it's okay. He fell back in love with professional baseball. So I want to ask you, do you remember the moment that you fell in love with professional baseball and chose your MLB team?
Yeah, I was a Northern California guy. So San Francisco Giants, closest team. So yeah, I'm a San Francisco Giants guy.
Probably served you well over these World Series runs over like the last couple of years. It's like they won one every other year.
Yeah, that was a good 2010, 2012, 2014. That was a good time.
Some connective tissue there on Ryan Terrio. How about it?
That's right.
Coach, last time we talked to you, though, there was a lot on the line. Well, actually, whatever. There's been a lot on the line since the halfway point, right? Like, y'all have been in playoff baseball mode for a while now. But going into a home series, number one team in the nation, not only do you come out and win 2 or 3 over the weekend, but then you have a must-win midweek, down the 8th, find a way to come back and win. It feels like, for the first time this year, over the past few games, when you have reached these high-leverage moments, y'all have been winning them more often than not. Is there anything that you can point to that has created that? Is it just time on task? Why do you think that started to come about here recently?
Yeah, I think experience is caught up a little bit. And what I mean by that is we certainly have guys that were on the roster of that team last year, but a lot of them are in different roles than they were a year ago. And then you have a lot of new players, as well. And then, whether anybody thinks it or not, like the schedule deal was really difficult. Like we ran a really difficult 4 weeks in a row while we were trying to figure that out. And then once we got kind of through it, we've played better. And we did make a point probably, the week of Missouri or going into that midweek, I think it was against New Orleans, of just like, hey man, we're going to remain positive. Like it doesn't matter what anybody else says. We're just going to do that and then just keep working. And then, we're going to just need to be better in these, tipping points in the game. And that's, if we will, we're going to win more. And then that Sunday at Missouri, we were down 2-0. Then it was 2-2. We got out of a jam, got off the field, got the bases loaded, got a couple guys in. And then, kind of since that point, we've been pretty good. And the losses now have shifted from you haven't won those to, maybe you've just given up that one big inning, kind of like what happened Sunday. But in the wins, we're getting the clutch hit, we're getting the clutch pitch, and it's made all the difference in the world. So little experience, but mostly credit to the players to just staying positive and focused and working their way through that adversity.
And, Coach, great starts from Jump and Holman on Friday and Saturday. And I was trying to think of a name for Herring and Little. It's like, gosh, relievers. They're not closers. I'm just calling them finishers. I think Herring and Little are finishers. You have starters and finishers because, like, that little 1-2 combination on Fridays and Saturdays now, I mean that's hell on wheels right now.
Yeah, and that's what it was designed to be, going into this thing, to be honest with you. When we got Luke and got Gage, I believe they would be, two of the better pitchers in the SEC. And, I have not looked at, like, the individual pitching statistics and where they lie. But, for the better part of the league schedule, even though we're still fighting an uphill battle, like, they've given us a chance to win. Some of the games that we didn't win that they pitched, we didn't quite have it lined up. Griffin's unique. I mean, he's kind of a once-a-week guy. That's just the way he's kind of built. So, until we got somebody else to step up, it was going to make that second game hard, that third game even harder. But, Christian, these past 2 weekends, has been outstanding. I mean, as good as you could absolutely ask for. And, he's probably one of the most important factors of why we won the series last weekend was that not just a great performance, but he was able to extend to 3 2/3 innings, which, really shortened up what we had to do, which was, Gavin came in and got the last out. So.
Well, and it's a deal where, I mean, that's what I was going to ask is, like, is he the biggest factor? But I ask you this instead. I feel so good for Little on a like kind of personal, human, empathetic level, because we all know his story, right? As a 17-year-old throwing in the College World Series final, and then to kind of watch his career go quiet for a few years there. He's still young, though, only 21 years old, but now to be back on the stage playing so well, what happened here where it's kind of clicked recently after grinding for so long?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. Number one, and I may have said this before if we've talked about him, like in the midst of himself struggling and our team struggling, I mean, he was amazing just in terms of, hey, coach, what do you need? I mean, the ultimate teammate, and really showed a lot of maturity. Then we made a few adjustments with looking at some analytic stuff with Jamie and Coach Yeski, and really feel like we got him squared away with a couple adjustments that have really, really helped him out. And he's going out there and he's throwing his pitches with conviction, and he's in the zone with everything, mixing, and that was an outstanding performance last week. That's one of the best relief performances we've had by anybody, since I've been at LSU. And so super proud of him, and we're going to need him here, these next few weeks.
And, Coach, I want to brag on another player, and that's Bear Jones, who comes up with a big home run in a must-win situation in the midweek. And he was really good as a freshman last year. He hits 14 home runs. He bats over 300. But, every freshman, no matter what the sport is, you kind of run up against that wall. It's a long season. You're not used to it. And he's come back in this sophomore season, and he has fixed the things where he was deficient a year ago. Like, he's thriving in those moments now. I mean, that pitch that he hit out the other night, that's a pretty good pitch. I mean, it's a breaking ball outside corner, but he just stays back. That's a pitch last year maybe he swings and misses, but this year he stays back, knocks it out of the park. His growth has been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him, and you can just see it. It's before, like, the barrel, the home run, or the high-level plate discipline walk happens. He's just in control of himself and got a plan, had a good plan in that at bat, and he's turned himself into a good defensive first baseman, and easily, and it's saying a lot because, like you said, he had 14 home runs last year, hit 301 as a freshman, hard to do in the SEC, but he's the most improved player on our team on the position player side of it.
Talking to LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson here on Off the Bench. And, Coach, one guy that seems to that seems to just be at his best when the lights are brightest is Josh Pearson. What is it about him where it seems like as the season goes on and as the stakes get higher, his big play ability just seems to consistently show up?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that because I would get to it faster and he would just hit 400 all year long. For me, I'll just tell you this. Like, I just like seeing him in the lineup, and I like seeing him coming up with runners on base, and I just trust him tremendously. I do think he's improved a little bit also, just with some things, mechanically, physically, but he's just in control of himself. He's focused on what he needs to do. He has an aptitude where in one of those big moments he could slow down and stay within himself, and he's had a lot of big hits. The game we got blown out, he had a 2-out RBI on Sunday that we were up 3-0. We were 15 outs away from sweeping, and he's just got that good it thing, and that's why he's hitting fourth and fifth after the big guys, because odds are they're going to be on base, and I just trust Josh to give us a good at bat with guys on base.
Coach, getting ready to take on Alabama, team that you know well. Obviously, you play every single year. What are some of the challenges that you face now heading to Tuscaloosa? It's a baseball team, obviously, in Alabama that just a week ago, they're ranked in the top 25, so another quality SEC opponent. What did they do well? What are things that you have to make sure that y'all do well to take the series?
Well, they have a good lineup. They hit, and my hat's off to them because what they're doing is hard to do, where they lost just about everybody off of last year's lineup, and they're one of the better offenses in the SEC. I think this is an offensive park, very similar to Tennessee, not quite as small, but it seems to play pretty offensive. So we're gonna have to pitch. I think the story of the series last weekend and winning against number 1 Texas A&M was we didn't give up a whole lot of free bases on days 1 and 2, and we were able to keep them to single-run innings when they scored. And so I think that will definitely play. I think offensively, continuing to take advantage of our opportunities, not giving bats away to take pressure off the pitching staff. And then, you need those two guys to give you a good start like they've been giving you, and then the guys that come in when you need them and put out any fire that is there. And, I think our team's in a good mind space right now and excited about this one. This is a good one. I think this is the one where you could say, hey, we've played our way right back into it, and we're excited about that.
All right, there he is, head baseball coach for your LSU Tigers, Jay Johnson, good enough to join us here on OTB. Coach, we appreciate the time. As always, look forward to watching another series here against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Good luck this weekend.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you as
well. Thanks so much, Coach. Let's go. I haven't checked it. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, right? Or is it a certain night?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, cool.
I think the Thursday is only like that middle portion of the year when you got a couple of holidays.
I thought it was like a TV thing sometimes, where maybe they wanted like a Thursday night.
Maybe
series.
It is for some. Typically, like maybe if it's like on main ESPN, like once a year they'll throw one on Thursday, something like that. I don't know. I know Easter always changes the calendar a little bit. I feel like, look, Alabama's a good baseball team, and I agree with Coach that it's impressive what they've been able to do because they lost a lot because their head coach got fired because he's an
idiot.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. Yes. And so they had a ton of guys, including, Luke Holman, who's now, one of the aces for LSU, and they are very competitive. But it is a series that you do have the opportunity to go take 2 of 3. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But when you have Jump and Herring, then you have Holman and Little, if that's the way that it plays out again, you're going to take LSU in most of those battles. It's going to come down yet again to the lineup, and can they come up with timely hitting?
I agree. I'm nervous as hell, but I'm excited as hell. God, I feel bad, though. We haven't even talked LSU softball day, and we have to get these girls. But we got Munchies coming next. Let's do Munchies with Chip, and then maybe that last segment, we'll shout out Ask the Bench, but then we got to give this LSU softball team some love.
It was the longest game in SEC softball tournament history until the nightcap, which actually took that over, so it lasted for like a couple hours.
Wait, there was a longer than a 14-inning game?
There was another 14-inning game that actually, time-wise, I think it was.
What?
Was it Georgia and Auburn? I believe that was the two teams that it was. It actually lasted longer than the LSU-Alabama game. But certainly, we do have to give them a shout out. When you have a pitcher throw over 200 pitches in a single game, yes, you're going to get a shout out. We'll mention LSU softball chef when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
We go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you're looking to buy a new vehicle, they have got you covered with so many different options. Multiple midsize SUVs, multiple trucks, multiple sedans, multiple hybrids. They got the Sienna minivan, which you also can have. In a hybrid, they have the full-size Sequoia. So they have something for everybody, no matter what your lifestyle is, no matter what your lifestyle is calling for, your family needs. They've got you covered. So go check out the website today, buying new, leasing, or renting, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. You want to get like me and a murdered out many All-Star Toyotas there for you. I guess the point of what I'm really saying is, like, I asked them, can I get a minivan that has black wheels, black interior, black exterior, and they ordered it, and there it is, right? So you can do that same thing, or you can go check out the selection right there on the lot, online as well. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball will be with us to talk about LSU and Alabama in baseball, and we'll preview Saints rookie minicamp. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB. It is time now to go to our guy, Chef Michael Johnson, and get your Munchie questions answered. Chef, what's going on? How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
We are doing great. I'm here in Baton Rouge. T-Bob is joining us from Chicago. So my first question is going to be, of the different styles of pizza, which one is the best?
Yeah, well, like I'm a Neapolitan guy. I like that flatbread crust and a little bit of like maybe not. I mean, it's kind of burnt, right? It adds a little smokiness to it.
Yeah.
Next to that, I'm a Chicago deep dish guy. I do like Chicago deep dish, but my preferred style is Neapolitan.
That's interesting, Chef, because talking to the locals here, it seems like they're all more about the tavern style than the deep dish.
Really?
What's your favorite Chicago deep dish you've ever had? Where should I go?
Gosh, it's been years since I've been to Chicago, man. To be honest with you, I can't remember any of the names of the places that I went to. Just to be honest with you, man, I'm old enough and I'm getting senile, I think.
Yeah, no, I get it, bro. I get it. Hashtag Munchies. Daniel says, I have a variety of veggies coming in the garden: tomatoes, cucumbers, okra, beans, etc.
Awesome.
What is something atypical I can do with my veggies?
Atypical.
A little off the beaten path.
Yeah, I think one thing that's kind of a lost art is people don't pickle things much anymore, man. And I love pickling. I like mushrooms. You can pickle mushrooms; they're fantastic. Garlic, not tomatoes. Like you can tomatoes, but I don't know if you've ever had pickled mushrooms before, man. But they are fantastic. And cucumbers, obviously, that's an easy. But onions. There's nothing better than a pickled onion on a slider or on a burger that's fatty, cut through fat. I really like pickling.
Chef, ever since you came in studio and you had pickled onions on the dish you served us, it's the only thing I think about is pickled onions.
Yeah, pickled onions are great, dude.
So, which dish was that? It was a sandwich, right?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, my gosh. That was so incredible.
I can't remember which one it was, to be honest
well,
with you.
Well, if you can't remember, you know what that means? You got to come in and do it again.
I think it was the pork belly. Yeah.
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 Hashtag Munchies. Do you know what an amalgamation cake is? My grandmother used to make it. It takes 4 full days to prepare.
I'm having problems hearing you, T-Bob. Can you repeat it?
An amalgamation cake.
You read it, Jake.
Yeah,
you got it?
I don't see it right here, but they're asking about an amalgamation cake, how long it takes to make it. The question is, do you know what an amalgamation cake is? My grandmother used to make it. Takes 4 full days to prepare.
Yeah, I'm not. I've heard the term amalgamation before, but I'm not much of a baker, guys. I don't get much. I don't get much into baking. It's just, the thing is that I'm a fly by the seat of the pants kind of guy. Like creating things and making things in the moment, kind of from inspiration. And you cannot do that as much with baking. Like things have to be methodically, precise with measurements and stuff. And there are people that are out there that are excellent at that. And I just, I prefer to kind of create on the fly.
Hashtag Munchies. Does Chef incorporate meals to help the gut microbiome?
Yeah, it's definitely, we use kimchi and stuff like that, sauerkraut, stuff that has probiotics, prebiotics, stuff like that in there. So there's definitely needs for that for sure. Yes, absolutely.
Chef, yesterday the softball team played 14 innings. Now, I know they're in the state of Alabama. They're not at home. But if they were playing 14 innings in Tiger Park and you had to try to refuel them the next day, I mean, what are some good things to maybe give you some juice back after a long day at the park?
Yeah, lots of fruit. Get liquids in them, because fruit has vitamins and nutrients, but it also has water, right? So you're rehydrating. Salmon or steelhead trout. I prefer steelhead trout because I fish them, I fish salmon too, but I prefer the steelhead. I like the texture of it, and you can abuse it a little bit more without it drying out. And it's full of omegas, man. Omegas are really important for that. So seafood as a whole, putting some shrimp or something in there, you got to have omegas. You got to replenish the body with some salts as well. to rehydrate and hold that stuff in the body. A lot of people think healthy cooking, you don't put salt in the diet, but for athletes, you got to have salt in the diet for them to help the body retain the liquids. So vitamin, anything that's been taken out, and it kind of varies body to body, to be honest with you. But as a whole, you need to get liquids back in, omegas back in, and I mean that's kind of a general.
I'm interested to see how you answer this one, Chef. Hashtag Munchies best frozen pizza.
Best frozen pizza. Gosh, that's a tough one. Like Tombstone comes to mind, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, frozen pizza is kind of one of those things like, I don't know, it kind of takes me back to childhood, so it almost needs to taste like cardboard for it to be emotional for me.
Yeah, like it need that. That's so it's so insightful. Yes, it needs to taste kind of bad because that's what it tastes like when you ate it when you need it. Or when it brings you back to those memories for sure.
Yeah.
A chef, Chicago, which T-Bob, again, he's there, and pizza is obviously something they're known for, but also their style of hot dog, which T-Bob did enjoy.
Yeah.
So if you were making a Chicago-style hot dog, how would you go about that?
Oh, man. Now there's something that's special. It is one of, you guys know how I feel about hot dogs, but a Chicago style has a special place for me. You got to have the sport peppers. You got to have the neon green relish too. God knows how they make the neon green. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you want to, but I think all beef hot dog. You got to have a quality dog and a quality bun, and I do like the poppy seed buns. But they're not for everybody. It's not everybody likes to pick poppy seeds out of their teeth. But it's like eating a salad on a dog, and some people are like, you don't put ketchup or mustard on. Oh my God. The mustard's got to go down first in the bun so that, you're kind of getting that tart acidity a little bit late, and put the ketchup on top. So the first thing you get is sweet. And then, you cut through into the relish and the spicy peppers. The hot dog is almost an afterthought once you get through all the complexities that what it is. Yeah.
I was shocked, Chef. I couldn't even see the hot dog.
Yeah.
Like there was even a giant pickle spear on one that I had from Bertelli's that that was the size of the dog with the peppers and relish and everything else. But it was great. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, the hot dog's almost a device to serve it on, right? It really is kind of an afterthought of everything that you put on the dog. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies on a barbecue sandwich. Are you opting for slaw on the sandwich?
I will. It's not my go-to, but I will. Yeah, and it's kind of weird because I don't like too creamy. I kind of like a little vinaigrette with a little creaminess to it. That it has some acidity in it that helps cut through the fattiness of the pork. I don't like a heavy mayonnaise base slaw. I like to stretch that mayonnaise base out a little bit so it's kind of thin and drippy with a little bit of like red wine vinegar, something vinegary that kind of thins the mayonnaise out a little bit and adds a little tartness to it.
Chef, we're about to end the semester, and so you'll have a little bit of a break for some of the athletes. But when they come back for the summertime, does that change anything that you're doing there just because campus is a little bit different? There's some sports that are home. There's some sports that are here on campus. Does the summertime shift change anything for y'all?
Not really. Like we maintain through and through, and whether there's 25 kids or 250 kids, we're putting the same effort into it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to see 25 kids. I mean, the numbers through the summer probably turn back to, I don't know, 2/3 to maybe half of what they normally are. But there's still infrastructure here, people that we feed on campus, coaches and staff, even the police department, there's people that we allow to eat here that we will maintain through the summer as well. So we just push on through. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. I got to give a shout out here. The beach volleyball team with the Nationals, which was awesome.
Yep.
They did really well. They didn't win, but they did exceptionally well. And we all love the beach volleyball team here. The women's golf team just qualified for Nationals, and they're going to be leaving for Tuesday for Nationals as well. So, LSU's, man, they're at a high level of competition, man. It's exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy. God, dude, that's on us, man. That's on us. We lost our way ever since we got rid of headlines. We don't talk about those teams as much anymore. I feel bad. Thank you, Chef. Thank you for doing our job better than we do our own.
Yeah.
Well, and, everybody's obviously softball team is excited for them as well. I think the game starts here in a little bit, and everybody's on edge. Nothing would please me more than to watch Tennessee have a huge failure and us just tromp right over the top of them. So.
Yeah, T-Bob as well. T-Bob is not the biggest fan of Tennessee. We are a fan, though, of Chef Michael Johnson. Chef, we appreciate your time as always.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, Chef. Love you, man.
That's on us. LSU Beach Volleyball, which I was watching over the weekend. I tweeted about it. It was the match against Stanford. Number 3 Stanford was incredible. They beat number 6 TCU. They beat number 3 Stanford. Then they fell to number 2 UCLA. But another solid beach volleyball season. I don't know. Maybe we need to revisit headlines, but maybe not to start the show, but maybe to start one of the hours of the show.
I'm thinking maybe like an end of the hour is when headlines could potentially work, but just go quicker with it. Really don't comment on it. Just kind of give the headlines. I'm not sure.
And maybe we can make Taylor do it. More work for Taylor.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah. We throw it to him or Alondra. Probably Taylor because he doesn't do anything. Throw it to Taylor.
Yeah.
So he's got work.
We skipped Taylor's NFL segment today. What are we going to do?
Oh, man. We're going to end the show. That's what we're going to do. But before we take this break, I want to remind you about our friends over at Rejuvenate Medical, rejuvenatemedical.com. The age-defying clinic. Get that consultation set up today. Maybe you're dealing with something and you don't know what it is, but they'll get to the bottom of it over at Rejuvenate. So you won't know until you get the consultation set up. We highly encourage you to go do that. Again, you can do it right there on the website, top right corner of the website. They're throughout the state of Louisiana, also now in Mississippi, rejuvenatemedical.com. We'll come back, talk LSU softball. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet, here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
PECbuilt.com. PECbuilt.com is the website for Pinnacle Exterior Construction and so many different things they can do for you, right? We've told you about what they can do for you as far as building a pool. That is a custom pool with every custom option you can imagine. That's the spec pools as well that are going to blow you away. They are not your kidney shaped one, option type of pools. They have multiple options in those as well, but also like outdoor living space. And you don't even have to have the pool to have the outdoor kitchen. Like if you want to have that, now it's a great addition to the pool. But even if you just want that outdoor living space, kitchen, TV, whatever, they can come in, they can do that for you. They can build any kind of fence. They can add a bulkhead to your yard as well. They can do it all. PECbuilt.com.
Yeah, man. So look, again, I really can't stress it enough. Go check out the website today because I think you're going to be blown away by just how impressive the gallery of their work is. And if you want a pool to beat the heat this summer, there's no better place than Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing
Sandigrove joins us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Snow Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway in Gonzales. Dwayne Colucci and Matt Youmans join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Louisiana, murder on the beat.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, shout out to LSU softball as they get ready. I think first pitch is in like 7 minutes. They outlast
I think they're in a delay.
Tide. Okay, they're in a delay, so good. We'll have time to get home and watch the game. They outduel Alabama 14 innings. It was an epic game. Incredible diving catches actually from both sides. It's always a good day to beat Alabama in any sport. Shout out to Coach Tarina and the Tigers. They get it done, and now they get a chance against a top 3 team in the country, the Tennessee Vols, who are the 1 seed here in this tournament. Let's go Tigers.
Yeah, and we'll give Sydney Brzon her love here. Gives up 2 in the first and then goes 13 scoreless, 208 pitches, 129 strikes in a single game. And shout out to the LSU team, didn't even tie it till the 6th inning. They get robbed in the 11th of that Sierra Briggs ball that you were talking about, Jake. And then Taylor Pleasance comes up and finishes it in the 14th. Shout out to the Tigers.
Man, softball is wide open this year. Oklahoma is still really good. They're top 5. I believe they're number 4 in the country. Oklahoma State's number 3. I think Tennessee's 2 and Texas is 1. You've already beaten the number 1 team in the country, so why not LSU in a season in which it's actually up for grabs because Oklahoma isn't as dominant? You've already shown you can beat the best, T-Bob, so why not pull a Jake Taylor? Only one thing left to do.
I mean, yeah, like, dude, like, huh.
Second Jake Taylor reference, by the way, today.
Yeah.
So Scott Woodward has, you know, I say we give him the football natty on a technicality, right? I mean, he was there at the time at AD. So football natty, baseball natty, women's basketball natty, gymnastics natty, damn near just had LSU beach volleyball natty.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, softball, I mean, it's crazy. Like, Chef Johnson was so correct. And, again, shout out Ingrid Lindblad, who you talk about all the time, and that LSU women's golf team.
If you're
it's crazy. Chef was so right. LSU sports are in a pretty fantastic spot.
If you're an LSU head coach and you're not at least, like, playing at a high level for natty, you better tighten it up.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. That's so unfair.
It is, but you better tighten it up because that's just the way it is. All right, we'll get to Ask the Bench tomorrow. Brought to you by Cold Cruise Light, Vizzy Heart Test, Blue Moonlight, Sky Stitcher Sweet. We'll see you tomorrow.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to mmrgrp.com. mmrgrp.com. That is the website to go to. And again, man, I was blown away. I drove by this thing multiple times last weekend, and I could not believe the campus. They are set up for your success. It is a place that I promise you will want to go be a part of. And if you want to be a part of them, you can go to that website, mmrgrp.com, or any search engine that you use, type in MMR Group, It's going to pull them up immediately. It's going to give you a list of locations, contact information, but also careers. Like if you're looking for a new career, not a job, but a career to move forward with, it's right there. Again, search engine MMR Group or MMRGRP.com.
Yeah, like we said, man, it's as if you're a college, maybe you're still in college. Maybe you've actually been in business for a while, you're seasoned pro, or maybe you're just starting out. There's a variety of positions available. So join up with the best. Join up with MMR by applying now at MMRGRP.com. That's MMRGRP.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.